tried.
Hey,
We
there,
tried. I
there
tried.
we are.
I tried so hard. You don't even know.
You get an A for effort.
We'll do it again. We'll do it again. We'll do it again. I really thought that might work for a moment. There
It,
was a glimmer
it
of
almost
hope.
did.
So let's just start the podcast off. This is Brett's with Friends, episode 127 with my friend Michael Stone. And we're going to talk about Russia and Ukraine. This is a Russia heavy Ukraine conversation. I'm no geopolitical strategist, but let's empty our brains into what Michael knows. So, welcome back for the second time, Mr. Michael Stone.
Thanks. It's good to be here. How many repeat offenders have you had?
You're like in the, I think maybe a few. You're in the mighty few. But I did see something earlier that caught my attention is that this is the 27th of February, and you are on my 90, I want to say 97, but my 98th episode, and
Ooh,
today's date is February 27th.
so cosmic overlap.
I don't know. Oh, it's some so it might be a hiccup in the matrix. I don't know. Ooh, you got blue. You got
I
blue.
gotta I gotta set my white balance. Okay, that now do I look too red? No. Oh, that looks good.
You
That
know,
looks
it's so
good.
funny. We've already been doing this podcast for about half an hour now. So
Welcome to the big show.
I think we tried. We're gonna do this live thing. I really got excited about that because I wanted to take, you know, if I invited like a dozen, have maybe a few dozen people to do it, but yeah,
Well, you got me.
I got you. So let's
Yeah.
talk about it. What do you want to talk about? You first of all, thank you for coming here again, and let's talk about Ukraine and Russia, man. You got some shit. You got some tea to spill. We got some knowledge.
Yeah, I wonder how much is just regular everybody knows it or not. I think most people have followed it to some degree, but then since October 7th, the Israeli-Palestinian conflict has sort of taken over the main stage of the public eye. Hey, did you know that October 7th is also Putin's birthday?
Is that the day that he dies?
We'll find out. He's still alive.
God, man,
No,
how long is
October
that fucker going to be alive for, man? Jesus Christ!
I
What the
don't know. There was
fuck happened?
speculations last year that they said he has Parkinson's, they said he has cancer, but he seems to be fine.
Maybe
He's
Russia's got the
71.
cure. Maybe Russia's got the cure for all that ails you. Those
He
cold,
might.
concrete. Like, have you seen when I went through Amsterdam and the Netherlands? Their whole their key systems for their doors and everything's just like it looks like a patent lock for a jail cell.
Oh yeah, they have like those big old skeleton keys.
Yeah,
They had those in Italy too. In
and it's
Italy,
like 2024. They still have those.
yeah, and their doors were so they had like reinforced metal doors on almost every apartment too. Like you'd turn the lock and it would be like shkagoong, like a safe door locking in, locking in place,
Like a relationship.
like a relationship. Well, let me tell you this. Actually, the whole Russia Ukraine story is kind of like a relationship. It's kind of like a bad, toxic, abusive relationship where Russia is the big, aggressive man, I suppose, the abusive husband,
The
and
macho man.
Ukraine is the battered, abused wife. And this is a long relationship. They've been together for basically hundreds of years, but they were forced together for during the starting in 1917 when they became the USSR. And that was a toxic relationship because Ukraine was essentially forced to be in the USSR. They were invaded back then, or I guess invaded from within to some degree. But all sorts of bad stuff happened to the Ukrainians during the USSR time. Stalin pretty much starved a million Ukrainians in like 1933, I want to say, or 37, 30, I think 33. Um, the Holodomor. Have you heard of the Holodomor? Holodomor. No, it's basically a Holocaust of starvation that Stalin subjected the Ukrainians to.
What year is
Was it
this?
1933, 34?
Wait. This is 1933.
I know, I gotta go way back. I guess my
Oh,
whole point
huh?
is that like Ukraine and Russia have been in this toxic relationship for a long
That's not
time.
that far. That's a lifetime. That's not far at
Yeah,
all.
fine. It's all relative. It's all relative. But in terms of relationships, okay. So let's fast forward. Okay, 1990, the USSR is breaking up. 1991, there's this referendum. Basically, the USSR has collapsed, and the world is kind of like, oh my God, what's going to happen next? And the Ukrainians take a vote. They're like, do we want to be independent, or do we want to like maybe join with Russia, or what? Join the Russian Federation? And they voted overwhelmingly to be independent. It's like 90 plus percent independent. So like from that moment forward, that's 33 years ago, Ukraine has just been on this path of independence. But here's where it becomes like a toxic, abusive relationship. Russia didn't want to let Ukraine go because actually Ukraine is a lot of what's best about, or what was best about, the USSR. Some people said it's like it was the brains of the USSR. They actually made a lot of the Soviet era weapons and stuff in Ukraine. A lot of the engineers were from there, and they grow a ton of food there. Ukraine is like the breadbasket of
Yeah,
Europe.
because apparently you didn't grow too much in the. Now I'm going to interject, Rose. Well, I'm not trying to
Please,
stop on
we got
your
to keep
words.
this interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't let me bore you to
Don't
death.
let me be here then. Um, um, that it's all about territory, right? Everything's about territory. Neanderthals, caveman, they all the watering hole, the whole thing.
Yeah,
What's
you could
got the
say that.
source? Where's the source? And apparently Russia does not have the source. Their lands are depleted.
Hmm.
This is a guy that has nothing to know about anything. I paint, I make things, I like to make movies. But it seems like the side note, the cliff note that I got is there don't have the land to grow shit on.
Yeah, like arable farmland. I think in terms of like the land that was the former Soviet Union, Ukraine is a big part of the good land. I mean, good, definitely good for farmland. Also, in terms of cultural history, Kiev is an older city than Moscow, and the culture of the Russian people actually traces back more to Kiev than it does to Moscow. So it's like in a way, it's their cultural nucleus. But since the breakup of the Soviet Union, then of course Russia has Moscow, and they have since then embarked on this weird, and also beforehand too, this weird psychological game where they basically want to like eliminate Ukrainian identity as its own thing. They're like, oh, we're all Russians. But the Ukrainians are like, no, actually, we're Ukrainians. We got our own thing going on, and we were forced to be a part of you for 70 years. We're done with that. We're moving on. We're going forward. So okay, then throughout the 90s and the early 2000s, um, Ukraine isn't really that much different from Russia in the beginning in terms of some things like political corruption. Like it was kind of the Wild West there too. They were trying to figure some things out, but in theory, they were trying to move towards being a democracy. Um, Meanwhile, I don't know how much have you followed like Putin like since he came to power 25 years ago?
Well, I mean, I'm a kid of the '80s, so I mean, it seems like
Yeah, me too.
uh I mean, when I see, I know he's what it's almost it almost fractures off into two different questions when you ask me a question about what do you know of Putin, because
Yeah, or what do you
I know
think you
that
know or whatever? I don't know.
I mean, it seems like a really bad guy.
It I guess I think he is a really bad guy.
I mean,
Yeah.
look what he just did to the journalist, or not journalist. Well, that
Yeah.
probably. But
Political rival
yeah, that was
Navalny.
like that's a stinger, man. Navalny.
Yeah. And
That's a
he's been doing that ever so basically since his
that's like clockwork.
presidency.
That's like that's not on par for him to do that.
It's not out of character. I mean, he's poisoned like 80 or so different. I don't know the numbers if that's all journalists. There's one big number of journalists that he's poisoned and had assassinated. Then there's also other political rivals and things like that, former security agents that he had to hunt down and wipe out. But he's assassinated like I want to say 100 plus people, just like in terms of journalists,
But
intellectuals.
he never gets his fingers wet.
No, he never gets his hands dirty because he. So basically, what happened was in the '90s, the former Soviet like secret service apparatus, like what we used to call the KGB or what was called the KGB, became the FSB, which is the modern Russian version of it, and it pretty much just fused with the Russian mafia. So the Russian mafia is essentially in control of the entire country of Russia. Putin is the head of the Russian mafia, and they're in the they want to expand. Their business is basically like shakedowns, um, making people below you on the totem pole, people below you on the pyramid pay for security. You know, like the classic mafia thing where they come to your house and or your business and they're like, "Hey, pretty nice business you got here. I'd hate for something bad to happen to it." You're like, "You give me some money and we'll make sure nothing bad happens."
That's
So
when he
it's basically like
that's
the way
when
that
they
the
pitch the
mafia,
cheek of the little girl in the doorway.
yeah, hey, a cute kid you got
Good
here, cute
kid.
kid, yeah.
You want to
So I
keep
feel
her
like
happy, right?
that's basically like what Russia does, like on their entire country, from like
Fuck.
the way they work with the outside world and the way they work internally. Is just like they have massive internal corruption, and at every level of the thing, people steal. So like if you have a military general and you give them a budget, like okay, you need to maintain these ships and tanks or whatever, they'll spend as little as they can on actually maintaining it, and they'll pocket the rest. And then everyone else will like turn a blind eye because they're all in this giant corrupt system together. I guess you could say that about America too. Like, you know, we have our own form of. You could say that capitalism itself is a giant mafia of sorts, where like we all look up to the people who have more than us, and we shit on the people below us. But that's an oversimplification, and at least we have laws that protect us in theory. I feel like in Russia, Putin is he is the law. And if you go against him, he'll have you jailed or killed. And they did something like September 11th. Do you believe September 11th was an inside job?
Do I believe September 11th, meaning the two towers going down at once?
Like, I mean, all the theories going around, people were like, "Oh, there was no planes, or the planes were remotely
The
hijacked,"
holographic
or
and shit like that. No,
there's a
they
million, yeah,
no.
theories.
I was before the Olympics were fucking in New York. They had I don't. We're about 10 years apart in age. Young
Yeah, I
soul.
think so. Yeah, I'm
Oh,
81.
I'm 55.
Well, I'm a
Actually,
lot older.
I haven't turned 55 yet, but it's looming like on April 20th. But
Looming large.
I already feel like anyways, it's a weird like hiccup in reality when you get to the be like it's weird because I feel like I'm 22, but like I'm smarter than I was when I was 22. It's a person I wanted to be at 22, but I look old.
I feel like I'm getting dumber.
There's a lot of people who feel like that. They don't care. They just eat fast food and fucking drive around their fucking Uber Eats. Uh,
Maybe wiser. Maybe a
uh,
little wiser, but
Wiser is the thing. We want to get wiser. Oh, wait, so what's the question?
well, okay, so the question was, do you think September 11th's an inside job? But you
Okay,
don't
so
actually have to. You don't have to
I
answer
will
it.
answer that. I will answer that. I do believe it's not just a one fucking thing, right? It's like there was like 2 years before that thing went down that there was they got like explosives out of the garage, the parking garage.
Yeah, there was that previous
And there
attack.
was the Olympics during that time as well, or there's some sort of special event or something that was
Yeah, there might have been.
yeah. So they got that out, and there's somebody that was shot maybe during that, like
Yeah,
some
yeah. I
something.
want to say that was '93, and I actually don't remember who was responsible. Was it also supposedly Osama bin Laden's people?
I'm not
I don't
sure.
know.
It's like this is why people come to Brett's with Friends podcast to talk
For the
about
speculation.
for not because these are the blurry moments, right? These are the gray moments. There's like what happened so fast, what happened, and it didn't happen, or what, and it blurs so much, right?
Yeah, that's true.
It's funny.
Well, that's a big part of this whole, I think, Russia story is about the blurred moments because I think a lot of people just haven't really been paying that much attention to Russia and Putin because in our minds, like in the West, we're like, oh, the Cold War is over, first of all, and then starting on September 11th, we were so focused on radical Islamic terrorism
Oh, dude, it
for
changed the world. That does not come. That's a once in a lifetime event. That it
yeah,
not hopefully that
yeah,
doesn't ever
hopefully.
come again. But
It was
like
definitely, yeah, it was like a really, it changed the course of like our
we
you know,
lost
our
our humanity.
geopolitics.
We lost. That was the day that we lost our innocence.
Yeah, you could say that.
Absolutely.
Certainly like our generation, I guess, or whoever was alive at that time. Um, so, and then what do we do after we went to Afghanistan, we went to Iraq, we spent trillions of dollars in those places, and we didn't really achieve anything, except maybe, well, we got rid of Saddam Hussein, but is the Iraq that's there now better than Iraq under Saddam Hussein? I don't know. I'm just gonna say for the most part, I think that was a mistake, and I think they lied
To pull out of
about
it or to go into it.
to go to Iraq. I mean,
That's been pretty much factualized.
yeah, I am not. No one's even disputing that here, I'm sure.
No, 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 but
Okay,
like not to I that I didn't know what was happening as well. That's a huge blurred moment
yeah,
for
like
me.
the fog of war, the fear had gripped us and everything. Anyway, here's what I'm circling around to. Um, my point is probably September 11th wasn't an inside job in the sense that, you know, I think it was those 19 Saudi nationals working for Osama bin Laden. I more or less believe that story. Whether or not like the intel services knew it was going to happen and they let it happen or something, I guess you could debate that. But my point is, Russia, right after, so Putin came to power in like 1999. It was Boris Yeltsin through the 90s. And apparently, Boris Yeltsin was pretty much like kind of a mafia guy too. He was like a lovable, affable guy, but he was like the strong man and he had a powerful family. They called it the family. And little by little, you know, they just implemented this system of um, basically corrupt crony capitalism where people who were connected to the power centers got to control what used to be Soviet state-owned stuff like the oil fields, blah, blah, blah. So Yeltsin was like, had amassed a lot of power for himself and his family, but he's getting old, he's getting weak. So then they brought Putin in, and they're like, "Oh, this guy is a good guy. Like he will maintain our corrupt system for us. We'll make a deal. We basically hand it over to him. He doesn't look too much into our stuff, and like we basically he's the new guy." So that 99, he comes over, takes over. Within months of Putin coming to power, there are these apartment complex bombings in Russia. And it would have been huge news at the time, but I don't even remember hearing about this at all. Of course, I was like in high school or something. If you think about it, though, this was like their September 11th moment because it totally galvanized Russia. It made them follow in line behind Putin because Putin went on TV. He's like, I'm gonna find out who did this. In fact, we know who it was. It was the Chechens. It was the Chechens, and we're gonna go to Chechnya and we're gonna fuck those guys up. So they used these apartment complex bombings as like a pretext to go to Chechnya. And by the way, I'm going to send you a documentary about this. This is like the reason I know it is because one documentary, and it's really interesting.
You know what?
So
If you want to pin that and send it to me, we can overlay it towards the conversation that you started. We can
yeah,
edit that footage over what you're about to talk about.
yeah, I'll send you that. I'll send you a whole bunch of links of stuff that like how I've come to this conclusion or whatever.
Okay,
But
so you'll be talking, and this footage will be running right now.
okay, good. Yeah. So I think the documentary is called "The Assassination of Russia" or something like that. It's a British documentary, but it's produced with the help of a Russian former Secret Service guy. Who that guy then ended up getting hunted down and killed by Putin's guys, like shortly after making this documentary.
This is in 1999.
The bombings happened in '99. This documentary was made in like 2001, 2002, after the fact. And basically, what the documentary I think proves is that it was completely an inside job. There was the one apartment complex bombing, then another one. So they would put a huge bomb in the basement of an apartment complex and like blow it sky high and kill, you know, 50, 60, 70, 80, 100 people.
Innocent
And
people. Innocent.
innocent people,
These
their,
people
you
are
know,
no,
Russians.
they're not associated with any bad doings.
No, just like an apartment complex,
Civilians.
random one, bomb, blow it up. And people were getting more and more scared. They're like, "Oh my God, who's doing these bombings?" People were really terrorized. It was effective terrorism. But then they messed up on the last what was supposed to be the last bombing. It was like three FSB agents put the bomb in the basement. There was some witnesses that saw them, and they saw them drive away, and they saw their license plate even on their car and stuff. There
What
was
were
like
they
multiple.
dressed in? Were they dressed in a certain way to do that?
I don't remember details about that,
Like
except
postal
that
postal
they
people or something?
basically they just kind of, even under darkness or whatever, they just load like, oh, we're just loading some shit in the basement or whatever. But because everyone was so nervous about these other bombings, they were suspicious. They're like, basically they got spotted. And then so somebody who saw them called the local police. The police came. They went down to the basement. They find a bomb in the basement, a huge bag of explosives, with a timer, a detonator, and stuff on it. And like that building would have blown up, except that the plot got foiled. And
How
then
did how
the
did it
local
not blow
police,
up? How did it not blow up?
because people saw them planting it essentially and called the police immediately. They didn't have a chance to blow it up. They were supposed to wait until the middle of the night.
So
Like
did they
basically, they're
the
from
cops
the
show up with the and like see these guys with these fucking explosives?
because basically it looks like a big bag of sugar, a big, like a baker's bag. They're like, oh, we're just carrying this stuff down, put it in
Ha
there. Uh,
ha 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 ha.
yeah, and maybe people are coming and going. They got away with it four times. They blew up four
Ooh.
buildings, but I think on the fifth time or the fourth time, they got basically they messed up. They got spotted. Local police were called in time to stop the bomb, and they took pictures of it. They had it sent off for chemical analysis, and the chemical analysis showed that it was explosives. They evacuated the building. Everybody who lived there left, and like did couldn't spend the night in the building. They had to go out, like stay at a hotel or something. It was big news. But then, like the next day or 2 days later, the FSB, the former KGB, they go on TV and they're like, "Oh, a terrorist plot was foiled," or not like basically this was an exercise. This was just an exercise to make sure the people are staying like on high alert and everything. And they basically just blatantly lied about what had happened. The thing is, all the people at the time, this is like 1999, like Russians hadn't been like totally reoppressed yet. They had like a taste of freedom in the 90s. And so people were kind of normal, and everyone was like complained to the local authorities. They're like, this is a lie. Like we were all there. We saw the bomb. We had to evacuate. What are they saying? They actually had a TV show, like a Oprah or like a talk show where they invited a whole bunch of people from that apartment complex bombing to come talk about it on live TV, but they had one guy who was like the Secret Service plant. And he went in there. He's like, no, 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 you are remembering wrong. What happened was it was a fake bomb that was planted as a special operation. And of course, it was cleaned up. Like he had a totally different version. And all the people are like, no, 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 that's not what happened. Like, remember we had to go spend the night at the hotel? Like
Yeah.
you're telling a bullshit. And he's like, no, you are mistaken. You are mistaken. And they ended up actually like beating up some of these witnesses and stuff, got like roughed up by the authorities after the fact until they would shut up. And the story just kind of went away. But they use these explosions as a pretext to go to Chechnya and start like a 2, 3, 4
Bill,
year, and they basically invaded Chechnya as a result. And then they later on they invaded Georgia. Remember there was like
I want
South
to bring
Osset.
I want to bring my brother on here. He knows all the Chechnya thing. Continue. My brother
Oh,
knows.
bring him in. Hello,
This is my brother Bill Woods.
Bill
Let's
Woods.
surprise guess. So
How you doing?
he knows a lot about geopolitical stuff. So just continue his language, what you're saying, and he'll jump in and maybe
If
not.
you're talking
But
about Chechnya, you're probably talking about Russia.
Yeah, Russia, Ukraine is like the main theme we're talking about here, and of course, what a bad guy Putin is. Are we allowed to say that on here? Probably
You
going to be poisoned.
around me, definitely.
Okay, good. I
Putin's
mean, it should be blatantly obvious. My big point is that this Ukraine versus Russia story should be the most obvious no-brainer of a story. It's good versus evil. It's David versus Goliath. It's democracy and freedom against autocracy and oppression. And it's like us against them. Ukraine has wants to join the West. They want to join NATO. They want to join.
So does
Uh,
Russia in a way, don't they? Don't they want apple pie and Levi jeans and like cowboy hats? They all do that.
Not
What?
they want that, but they Russia is really weird. It's an oligarchy. All the money is Putin's. He can go to
all the
any
money is Putin's. Yeah,
Russia.
it was an oligarchy. It's not even really an oligarchy anymore because Putin basically like uh, took all the power even from the other oligarchs. It's
Yeah,
along the way.
he can go to them anytime and just rob them of all their money and just take it. Like that's mine.
Yeah. And there's one oligarch in particular. His name is Mikhail Khodorkovsky, and he was one of the richest men in Russia at one point. He owned Yukos Energy Oil or oil company, and he wanted Russia to be like open up. He's like, you know what? We have plenty of money. We have plenty of resources. We should just open up and move towards the West. Like let's just join the international community. But Putin was like, no, fuck that. I'm going to nationalize your oil company and put you under arrest. And he arrested that guy. This like the second richest guy in Russia, and he spent like 10 years in jail in the early 2000s. But then he
But
got released.
he's probably
You know this guy? You know this guy, Michael Khodorkovsky?
I haven't heard.
He,
I not the name specifically, but I know what he's done to a lot of the captains of industry in that country.
yeah, totally. And this was one of them. Also the media magnet guy. He basically like intimidated the media guy so that like he can only put on TV stuff that makes Putin look good or
But
whatever.
the heart of everything Putin does really is that he wants a return to the Soviet Union. He pines for the Cold War days for some reason, where
Yeah, like yeah,
all these atoms
regathering the greatness.
control, and then they completely suck up all the resources of all these satellites around them. And it's kind of disheartening to see America's right wing constantly getting fooled by them and constantly pushing their propaganda, um, either knowingly or unknowingly. But it's kind of disconcerting that we're
Yeah.
getting fed misinformation, Russian misinformation through our own elected representatives is kind of scary.
Yeah, well now you're really getting to the heart of the matter. I mean, that's the story that's most mind-blowing. I was like going way too far back almost, just trying to like paint a picture of like how corrupt Putin is and everything, but
We
yeah,
all know he's a bad guy.
No,
yeah, you just got to accept that he's a bad guy. Like yeah, you said it well, like absorbing the resources of the satellite states. They basically want to get Ukraine back so that they can suck up all their resources because they're not doing very well managing their own
the most
internals.
beautiful thing, my favorite thing for the last 6 months is when he invaded Ukraine, the right wing talking point, which they adopted from Russian disinformation, was that it was NATO. NATO
Yeah,
has,
NATO expansion.
yeah, they have no central leadership. They're just a defensive alliance in case Russia invades somebody or invade one, invade them all, sort of thing. So they kept pushing this thing that NATO was the big reason. NATO was the big reason. And what I loved was Tucker Carlson did that
Hmm.
ask
Yeah.
interview with them where he says that where he brought up NATO and Putin's all it has nothing to do with NATO. He gives them this big history lesson about the Soviet Union, about how he wants to basically reform the Soviet Union and go back to the Cold War era, where he is absorbing resources from satellite states that they completely control through puppet governments. And it just
And Tucker
right.
Carlson's like, well, that's not consistent with the last version of the the disinformation that we've been pushing for you. You need to get your story straight.
Yeah, blew up their entire narrative of what they've been pushing on us for the last, year now.
Yeah, they have all these different narratives, but the crazy thing is, like you said, that the right, basically the MAGA Republicans have really gotten it wrong. Like they've basically swallowed all this Putin propaganda,
Believe
and
Stewart's take that the reason why, as in the old days where it was communism versus capitalism and they were the enemy, the reason why they're now embracing them is because the new battle is woke versus unwoke. And in the battle
yeah,
against wokeness, he's considered an ally, and so they're trying to make him more palatable or acceptable to Americans because of his lack of wokeness or his war on wokeness. That they're trying to make them comfortable, make us more comfortable with people like him in the world. I
yeah, that might be. So I can't actually tell if that's actually the guiding force. My personal opinion is that it comes down to one guy, and it's Donald Trump. I feel like that's the reason. I feel like Donald Trump is the reason that the far right is so aligned with or so sympathetic to Putin right now. I personally believe that Trump is just compromised.
he's the
Um,
closest thing to an American asset double agent that they have. Because he has this thing for strongmen and he has this thing for Putin. And when you're constantly siding with Putin at the expense of the relationship with our allies, our historical allies, it causes problems. And I don't know what Trump's fascination with like Erdogan and just dictators in general. He's like he wants the United States to be that so that he can be in that position where he can murder political opposition, where he can go to any billionaire and just take their money if he wants it or nationalize something, so that he can basically suck all the money from it. It's really, really weird the way they've adopted him, and the people that put him in power, he doesn't give two shits about. He uses hand cleaner. The moment he has to shake these people's hands, he goes into a room where he uses hand cleaner and just says, God, when is this going to be over with? He can't stand them. And it's
What is he a
amazing.
gargoyle? Is he some sort? Is he Satan?
Who, Trump?
Maybe.
Nah,
Well,
there's a YouTube video.
He wants to be Satan so bad. It was so bad with
he
Satan.
does.
I want to be
He
Satan.
knows how to run things.
Satan was wealthy. He was one of them. I was a dictator.
He's like, Hitler had a good idea.
It was nice meeting you. My car's running. I gotta go.
All right, good thought.
Oh,
So
your
that was
car's
my
running?
brother.
Nice
But
talking to you.
he knows more about this shit than I do. So
Well, he said everything I wanted to say anyway about the whole right connection with there's a whole basically cabal of these
cabal is
Putin.
a cabal meaning like a private religion or something like that.
Well, just basically a cartel, a group of people, but it's not even secret. They're
So let's get to QAnon stuff. Are you talking about QAnon stuff here?
Well, the weird thing is, I think that there is sort of a plot that's happening in plain sight. I feel like there is a weird sort of like attempt to take the United States and realign us with Russia and maybe with China too, and turn our backs on our historical allies. And like if you look back at Trump, everything he said publicly about NATO since he was in the public spotlight, even before he was the president, he was like, "No, we need NATO. NATO's bad. They're taking advantage of us. We need to make them pay more. Blah blah blah." Um, so it's like very anti-NATO, and the other people that seem to be involved with this are Tucker Carlson, um,
Is that
Elon Musk.
is that giving him a lot of credit though to be is he that big of a figure?
Well, there's a bunch of them. So I think the biggest
There's
figure who I'm questioning.
a whole bunch of fish in the
There's
street.
a whole bunch of them.
The creek is running wild with lovely people like Kellyanne Greenway, and you got your Tucker.
Yeah, Kellyanne Conway,
Oh, or who's the other bitch? That fucking chick, the blonde like
Bobart,
Sasquatch.
Bobert.
I don't know.
Yeah, you got Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Oh, you feel that pinch in the side of your ear when you say it.
I do. I'm just suddenly noticing that my shirt looks all sparkly in the.
You look good, man. You look clean. You look good. You got a haircut.
Thank you.
It's good to
No, I
see.
think I need a haircut, but
You you got
I
some good.
combed it.
You look a sharp boy.
I cleaned myself up. I
You
cleaned
did.
myself up for this interview.
Oh, did you not for just for these people right here? They don't give a shit.
Took a shower and everything.
Did you take? Can you tell me? We'll come back to this, but maybe a good way to segue to your trip that you just took. Were you in some sort of mountainous or like place that had snow recently?
Oh, I went skiing over in January. I
We
went to
like to keep it
Aspen.
light. We like to keep it light. You gotta pepper it.
Yeah,
You gotta pepper it.
gotta pepper it in. Yeah, what'd you do over the holidays? Um, yeah, now I'm just like, oh, it's a. First of all, I'm probably preaching to the choir about this Russia thing. Let me just say that I've been so into this, so passionately following it, and I'm so kind of disgusted by the fact that the right wing has taken control of the government. Who's the Speaker of the House? I was gonna say Ron Johnson. What's his name? Mike Johnson.
That douchebag Republican dude.
Yeah, he refuses to let them take a vote. It passed the Senate 70 to 29 or something, like more support for Ukraine.
This is
Ukraine was actually winning.
is this about hypocrisy at its most finite
You mean coming from the right, who
anywhere?
historically,
What the fuck is happening? What the
yeah,
fuck is
all
happening
along
in every
they're the ones who
direction?
wanted to like pump up the military industrial conquest, and they were like the war rah rah guys, I feel like, in the past, but now they're like, oh, we need to make peace, we need to make peace. But their version of peace is just giving Putin like whatever he wants. Meanwhile, the Ukrainians, they're like the most courageous people in the world. They all came together and they're fighting for their survival. And they just need more weapons and we were supplying them and they were like putting them to good use and everything. But then for the last 5 months, it's like the supply of weapons is just slowed to a trickle. And so they've had to conserve more and more and more. And they're like, oh, we can't go on defensive. We can't
Can I
even
ask you a
maintain.
quick question without?
Yeah,
I know I'm interrupting you, but I want to grab it out while I got it. But like, what is the? Where is it the line that we are not fighting Russia by supplying?
that's a good question. But honestly,
I mean, where's
it,
that line? Where's the flip?
well, when Ukraine first got invaded, everyone was like, well, we got to be careful because we can't just go against Russia. They're a nuclear power. So certainly they were saying, like, we can't send our own troops in there. They were saying we can't even give them, like, tanks. We can't give them NATO tanks. We can't give them planes. We can't give them long range missiles. So all these kind of like little rules kind of came up. But then they said like, oh, if you use a Western missile to shoot down a Russian ship, like that's a declaration of war. Ukraine has taken out like 6 heavy Russian ships at this point, um, like their flagship, and then 4 other big, I don't know,
Yeah, this is all
cruisers. Or
happening really recently too. This is like week ago, sort of.
yeah, well, that first warship was maybe a year ago now, but yeah, and
But
so
they got somebody recently as well. They got somebody some
they've been
bull.
shooting down a lot of planes lately. Yeah, they
Oh,
got
yeah,
another big ship.
there's a lot of shit happening in the world. They
Yeah,
shoot something out the fucking like they took out like a Russian tanker or some fucking bullshit like or
yeah, they
some.
took out big
Oh,
ones.
there's two wars because we're talking about Russia and we're talking about Ukraine, but also thinking about I'm getting these notes, these sweet notes of aperitif of what's the other war that's fucking happening right now?
Oh, there's Gaza and
Yeah,
Israel going
Israel.
on.
Okay, so that is like echoing in the back of my ear right now when we talk about and I knew it was going to happen, but like, are these things
Connected?
you
I
said?
think I totally think they are. That's why I brought up that Putin's birthday is October 7th,
Well, happy
because that
birthday, Mr. Fucking Putin. I hope you fucking choke
happy
on a fucking gizzard.
Yeah, I hope so too. And well, that was the date of the
Would it be
Hamas
nice if
attack.
would it be nice if Trump and Putin both had heart attacks?
It would be. That's what I'm hoping for. It seemed like for a while there, Trump was moving towards jail and Putin was moving towards death. And I feel like those are the two things that need to happen to make the world like suddenly it'll be all rainbows and unicorns in the world.
If I die before they die, that will be a sad day.
That will be a sad day. Brett, you can't die on us. You
I'm
can't
not
die before Putin.
not before Putin. No fucking way.
And you
That would
can't die before Trump goes to jail either.
cool. I that would be a sweet. Will he ever go to jail? You think you'll see that guy in jail?
I sort of don't think so.
Would he have a heart attack before he goes to jail?
Yeah, maybe.
Would he fly to Zimbabwe and become an ex Nazi and change his face?
I
Yeah.
thought there's a good chance. I was like, if they do arrest him, they shouldn't put out like they should give him time to flee to see where he
Please.
goes.
Yeah,
Because I
yeah.
think he's going to Moscow. I think if he gets convicted of this shit, you're just gonna see Trump. He's gonna get on a plane. He's gonna move to Moscow.
Oh, he's
And
already got a place to stay. He's got a great spot over there already.
yeah, unless the feds like take it over or whatever. I could see him going to Moscow and then claiming he's still the president. He's like, I'm the rightful president. I'm over here in Russia, Russia, Russia.
You know what? If that was any other person in any other time and any other space and place, that guy would. Do you think Obama would have gotten away with a quarter and a scratch, like a 1% of what fucking Trump has done?
No, probably. Remember when he wore a tan suit? He wore that tan suit
Who?
and all Obama. One day he instead of wearing a black suit, he wore a tan suit. And like the right-wing media lost its shit. They're like, "Who does he think he is disrespecting the office? Look at this guy." It was the thing. I mean, it was many years ago during
Like they were offended by a tan suit?
Yeah, that was like as
Why
much
would
as
that, why would that be
Obama.
offensive? Why would that be
Hey,
offensive?
your question is as good as mine. I think it's because I think he looked damn good in that tan suit.
Oh, he
And
looked too good ready to be a president.
yeah, and I think a lot of, I don't know, white men or something were like intimidated, and they're like, he doesn't respect our traditions. He's wearing that tan suit. How dare he?
Do you think
Uh,
it's that archetypal though? Do you think it's that blatant though? Is this all a form of high school, but on like a epic level?
I'm just trying to answer your question. Could Obama have gotten away with one millionth of what Trump's gotten away with? And I think not. I think Trump's gotten away with much more than we even know. I
Why
think
is
he's
that? Why
I,
is that? That's the question. Why?
well, because he is basically a wolf in sheep's clothing. Well, not even really in sheep's clothing, but I think he's really basically a mafia guy. I mean, his mentality and his psychology is that of a mafia guy, mafia Don, and Mafia Donald, and he has been able to get
When
away
you
with it his
when
whole life
you
because he's born
when you
rich.
say it, I'm sorry, but when you say it like that, it makes me feel queasy inside
Because it's true. Or
because
why?
I don't know. It has a visceral experience. I'm having like a because I've lost friends to this
Me
disgust,
too.
disgusting human being,
I've lost so many friends.
and
Even
it's been
a
very
lot of my
divisive,
family members, I
and it's
can't
been
really talk to them anymore.
and it's been very divisive on so many different levels.
Yeah, that's the
And,
worst thing about it. That's the
and
absolute worst.
the fact that he's in our zeitgeist still is like he's echoing in the and he's got some sort of echo chamber happening right now, and it's been going on for like a long time, and I find it disgusting, and I'm still like adhering with it in various aspects of my life and like with people I meet and who, but like it's I I wanted to go away.
Me too. My own dad is I mean, he's just always been a Republican, which is cool. I mean, I was fine. I used to be a Republican actually. Like, when I was 18 or whatever, that was like my first vote was for George W. Bush. Um, I didn't vote for him the second time. And then I haven't
We
voted
can
for
believe that if you want.
yeah. No, I mean, I'll admit it.
Are
In
you
fact, nowadays I think
are you a Republican by nature?
yeah, I'm a middle of the road guy. That's the thing,
But
is it's
like you
just like
voted Republican before.
I was, yeah, I in my very first election I voted for George W. Bush.
And what year is that?
2000.
So that's right before 9/11.
Yeah. And then of course 9/11 happened, and everything that happened since then I like turned away from I realized that George Bush and his people had totally lied to us about the reasons to go to Iraq, and I lost faith in them. And then since then I pretty much have leaned Democrat, also because most of the issues I'm kind of like, well, the idea of universal healthcare sounds good to me. I lived in Europe actually for a while. I lived in Italy, and I actually studied abroad in Germany, and both places have, um, guaranteed healthcare. And it's just, for the most part, the scary thing about the American health system is if you don't have, you're caught without your private health insurance, and you get hit by a car, you get cancer or something, you can lose your entire life savings, or you can get wiped out financially just by staying in the hospital for a few weeks. Like, they can charge you whatever they want. It almost seems like a medical mafia to me, the way it is now. Then again, our medical care is also high quality, so I see both sides. I see both sides of almost every social issue, including abortion. I'm pro-choice. I think the most important thing is the woman's right, that women have reproductive rights. But I can also understand some arguments for, you know, um, I can understand. There's a lot of good arguments for why abortion shouldn't happen. I guess I'm not going out on a
Well, if
limb.
I talk about stuff like that, I'm just a simple man.
Yeah,
Oh,
in fact, I'd
I
love to
don't
just
go.
have.
I
I
know.
think we
Go.
let the women decide that one for us, and I
I
hope
don't
that they
think
do
any
in
guy's
November.
got any choice in the matter. I don't think
I'm just a simple fella.
I'm just a simple fella, but I know that tell a girl what to do is not gonna end good.
Yeah, but I guess
And
point is,
you know what? And with these pragmatic conversations, like these, like you know what,
pragmatic. I see what you did
pragmatic.
there.
I just threw that shit out. Uh, um, I don't even know, but it seemed to fit.
They
Uh,
used to call Brad the pragmatic because he got so many women pregnant in the
oh, I wish. I
90s.
mean,
He was the pregomatic.
yeah. I mean, I never had kids, but it's probably for the best. I mean, I wanted to have kids.
Same,
Do you want to have
same.
kids still?
Yeah, I mean, I think I thought I did.
The
I'm
pragmatic.
still open to. I haven't given up yet, but I also think that it might be pretty hard to start. I'm 43. Seems, but my dad was 43 when he had me. So hey, it can
No,
happen.
43 is not that. Uh,
You're definitely going to be an older dad by the time it's time to like go
but would you,
play.
that's the question is like, would you want to raise? Because we're all a little bit like independence and freedom are a big deal.
Yes, it is,
And
and
like,
not having to get up really early in the morning and like in
I
the
have
middle of the
friends that
night.
have kids. I have friends that have kids. I love kids. I taught art to children, and they're beautiful creatures. But
Yeah,
and I always thought it would be amazing if I was to ever had a child. Trust me, that would have been a fantastic, amazing thing. I still
you'd
visually,
be a great dad.
I'd be an amazing dad. Are you fucking kidding me? I'd be the best dad ever.
You're
But
probably a good uncle. Does Bill have kids?
no, Bill doesn't have kids.
Do you have
We're,
other siblings?
I have other siblings. They don't have kids either, except for my other side of the family. They had a lot of kids, but like a lot of kids. Like
A lot of kids.
you're doing it for me. It's fine. It's fine. There's no shortage of children in the world. It's I what do you think about that thing? Okay, we're gonna segue real quick. Hey, what do you think about that thing about there's not enough people on the planet?
Oh, that looks better with the lighting. The theory that there's not enough
You're
people on the
producing.
planet.
You're producing, just then. I caught you producing. You're producing.
I was producing, trying to make myself look more beautiful. No, because I'm
I
also
thought
like,
I like the other one. I like the other light.
oh, you did? No, because this
Yeah,
I look too blue or something. Wouldn't I look too blue?
try it. Let's see.
The thing is, this doesn't have much settings.
What is the
It's like
audience? Audience, you comment down below. Like, what do you think? I think
that looks better.
not that, not that.
No, because I look like I was frozen. I look like I was a cold-blooded icicle. That's what we need.
You're right. You're
That's
right.
better. That's better. Should be a little bit more
Woo!
zoomed into. Well, because I'm actually like a videographer, or I'm a video
You're,
guy too.
you're
So
many
I'm always
things. You're like a diamond. You're a many faceted thing.
I'm a many-faceted, many-splendid thing.
Okay,
My
so
last name is Stone.
what's that?
My last name is Stone, so diamond is
Oh,
a
you are a
stone.
diamond. Oh, stone. Did
My
you?
sister has a really good friend. My sister's name is Sarah, and she has a really good friend up in Portland whose name is Sarah Diamond. And we're always talking about how the diamonds and the stones, we get along. We get
Yeah.
along well. We're
Yeah.
gems. We're all gems
You are gems. We're gems. We're fallen rocks on the reality of the universe.
of the and you're wood. You're wood. I'm stone. We're just a couple of building materials here.
Yeah, we're gonna do one of these lives sometime. Well, I would like to get like a. I'd love to. I think I thought that was fascinating when you put that. It was like I really worked towards trying to do it live, and I don't know quite what the fuck happened, but like we're like these are baby steps. It's all baby steps, but like the conversation is good. I want to know
Yeah.
more. Where do you see this happening? You've been studying this shit. I really am wanting to know where the fuck this goes. Do you see a Trump presidency? Do you see
Oh, that's a good question.
Israel like Israel fucking just like I don't know, but or the and also the Russia Ukraine thing because like I know there's a lot of in the balance here. There's a very important conversation. Maybe we tip off a few people to have actually conversations about this shit because it will affect us. This is a real thing. We are living 2024. I am Brett Woods. This is Breast with
I
Friends
am Michael
podcast
Stone.
with Michael Stone.
Keep talking. I'm listening. I gotta just get one thing here.
Okay. Well, you should have done that a second ago. Now I gotta take a pee.
Oh, do you want to take a break? Should we take a break?
You can take a break. You can do anything you want. Maybe we
No,
should.
I'm saying if can we can just stop this and restart it, right?
You what? This is I'm just recording. But
Okay, yeah.
the
Do you
people,
want to take a do you want to take a pee break?
let's take a
Come.
okay, we'll take a pee break. And what should I show a video of something in between this?
Well, I think in the editing universe, it'll just be like this.
Yeah. So what
You're
should
not you're not
so should
thinking
I what
fourth dimensionally, Marty.
should I post like a video of Ukraine, or should I do SCTV, or should I do one of your you want to send me a video of something you did?
We'll come back. Those are good options. Well, we can decide later, right? We don't have to decide anything now.
Well, we got to present it to them before we pee.
Oh, we do?
Yeah, this is because this will then I cut it and go to
Wouldn't
the.
it just sort of fade out and bring in this thing? Um,
So if we don't know what it is, they're just gonna have to watch this, and this is what we got.
there's the video that has impacted me the most lately. Well, of course, there was the one of the guy who set himself on fire because to protest what's happening in Gaza. But I saw this other video that was like security camera footage of an occupied part of Ukraine. So basically, like you can see what it's like living there under Russian occupation. And all these thugs come in and they just like beat the shit out of people who are in like they're in a bar or a disco or something. And all these big like Russian mafia dudes come in and they just start like beating the guys. They have guns, so there's like nothing you can do. Um, and they totally just like beat and humiliate all these guys. And then the video is like 7 minutes long, so you don't even know what's going on inside. But then they come marching out and they bring like all the girls that were in the disco are like ushered out in a long. I was like, what is this? Is this a group kidnapping? That's why I wish I could speak Russian. I'm studying it actually, but um, these videos are so disturbing. But I want to be able to understand exactly what's happening, so I'm not drawing the wrong conclusions. Why do I sound like that?
Huh?
No, I was having some static or something.
Huh? That's interesting. Well, let's.
So, but I don't know. That video is so it's not. I don't know. It's kind
Will
of like
you send
disturbing.
me a link to that?
I, that was what came to mind. Um,
Because if
but
you don't send me a link, I'm not gonna go fucking prowling on the internet for that shit.
no,
Yeah,
I mean I could send you it, but we don't need to do anything now. Aren't you going to edit this video anyway? Like,
yeah, but I like I'm a free form kind of guy. We get to keep all
yeah,
the. This is all gold. So
this
what
is all gold.
okay, so let me do this. Well, let's pee and come back. So
Okay,
whatever I edit on this video, maybe it'll be something I made. Maybe it'll be a little short movie I made. Maybe it'll be a little movie. But
yeah.
back,
Well,
let's.
you guys are going to love what you see. You're probably
I
not even
hope
going to see
so.
this part of the conversation. This is all going to get cut.
We don't want to. No, don't send me any video of what's about to happen,
This
please.
video is only going to be like 2 minutes long. This whole conversation. By the time you cut out all the boring stuff.
Okay, and scene.
Wait, so do we leave it or do we?
Yeah. Just go and pee and do with it.
Oh,
Then we'll come back.
all right. It's all public.
Yeah,
It's all
yeah,
public knowledge.
yeah. Oh yeah, look at that!
Hey,
Wow, we're in
perfect
the
timing.
same pee cycle. That's awesome.
It's a miracle, a modern miracle.
It's a AI can't do that. AI can't do that.
Hey, I can't do that.
Um, so I digress.
All right,
Where,
let's just talk
where
about
were we?
more personal stuff and less politics. Maybe we talk too much politics. I don't
No,
know.
no, no. I like the politic thing, but like, where would you like? Because where does it go? Like, where does it go? Where does it go,
Well,
man?
I mean, we gotta. I feel like Ukraine needs to win and Trump needs to not win the president. If Trump becomes president again, I feel like all bets are off with this country. I mean, things could get really weird
You
because
think?
he's proven that he's a liar. Like he is.
No, but people like that. People like that. The people that like Trump
Hmm.
like layers. They like that shit.
Yeah, I guess you're right. People do kind of like that shit. It's almost like the mafia thing, like how people are fascinated. They're like, "Oh, let's go to that restaurant. The mafia guys."
It's like people want to see this show. They don't understand that it's actually affects people. They don't.
This show?
Their bigotry or their things. They think it's like I think it's a lot of pill stuff. I think a lot of
Hmm.
pills are going around. I think a lot of
Oh,
people that are on these things that like
pills.
the Trump are about I would say about 95% of the people that are on Trump things are probably you know what I'll just even say that Biden people are on pills. Let's just
Like
say
what kind of pills? Like antidepressants or
person
opiates?
like there's should we do like a stream of stuff that people are on that
Yeah.
should we do like a
Side effects may
like a
include.
like a like a like a
Ask your doctor about diazepam.
my first note uh there people are it's like people are disconnected from their bodies and think of their life as a fucking game show.
Hmm.
I think that more and more when I see people homeless beggars, people that are ordering Uber Eats, people are fucking, there's people in general. I believe in the beauty of people, but but
Also the ugliness.
people we are animals. We are
Yeah.
still connected to our animal ancestry. We are but culpable, and I don't throw that word out lightly. I don't even know what it means, but
It means blamable,
the planet
responsible.
we are product of the planet, and we will be eaten by the planet because the
Hmm.
planet is an animal as well.
We are of the planet. We are food.
We are digestive. We're like in between sequences of being eaten.
Actually, we're just like the molecules inside. Like if the whole planet is a computer, we are the transistors or whatever the computer's made out of. Maybe
Bacteria.
we're
Are
the
we the bacteria? Are we
well, yeah,
the
we are
mulch?
the bacteria.
Are we the mulch in between the plants being able to thrive healthy? We
What you do
tree.
about
The
nothing.
tree's happy. You know what? Hey, I've seen a lot of things happening around here, and you guys are cracking me up.
Well, there's a lot of theories going around about how like the forest floor acts as like the nervous system, like
Absolutely,
the mushrooms underneath the surface are communicating with each other, and there's like a plant intelligence. They're trying to teach us something.
absolutely.
I
I
can kind of believe that. I can believe that more than there's a God out in the universe
like an
that
old man with a
an
beard
old white man with a beard looking down on. I mean, I'm more into the biological God
Enterprise.
theory.
Yeah, we gotta evolve out of that shit quick, man. Because I grew up, my parents in the 50s, their whole thing, you know what, dude, their whole if you go back from 1900s or before that, we start seeing a lineage of because we've sort of been able to photograph it and now you know what they call when they document it of a timeline of the timeline of human history that we were able to actually do fingerprints and shit and time walls and graffiti on bisons on walls. But that timeline of stuff is like going to now, it's like we're able to see it. Those people in those situations, do you think they ever had thoughts that ex-
Hmm.
anywhere near what we can capable of thinking of that, even remembering what that looks like or having some sort of idea what that looks like? You tell a farmer in 1850 what a dinosaur looks like, he'll shoot you with a gun.
If he even has one.
You get off my land, you motherfucker. Tell me about fucking dry lizard kill. What are you fucking crazy?
Dinosaur? What?
Fucking
Not on
not,
my watch.
not with my girl.
Wait, didn't they have like when did they find the first dinosaur bones?
Like
That's a good question.
1850s.
Yeah, I guess there was a point before that we just nobody even
They
knew.
didn't do shit. There's a railroad. They were making railroads. They're like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, so the people in history were a little bit closer to dinosaurs, but they were farther away in terms of understanding. I think there's a parallel thing going on with like what you said. Did you say we're getting farther away from our like being in our bodies and being connected to the land?
Yeah, but it's this weird assimilation when you say that. I have
Yeah.
to gotta say because it's like we're it's like this weird like I guess a paradigm shift in a way because we are we are evolving, I guess would be that we are disconnected from our bodies.
Yeah,
A lot
but
of
so
people,
it's like
but
we're evolving, but we're not. Okay, one like
it's all that
collectively we're
everywhere.
evolving,
It's not just
but
two
also our
things,
bodies are still biologically pretty similar to like Neanderthals or whatever.
but it can,
Um,
our bodies, I think, can hold a lot of information.
yeah, they can definitely hold a lot of information. So we know a lot of stuff, but a lot of people today are just walking around like in their brains, right? They're like, I'm like you're a brain that's moving.
I guess
You have a
psychosis.
yeah, you have a body that's carrying your brain around and letting you observe things, but
That's the
people are
invasion.
like,
That's the invasion of the body snatcher scenario. People
yes,
are
basically.
well, basically that is a scenario. That's a metaphor. That's why that movie is fucking amazing. And every way they've ever done fucking that movie, it's always resonated on a transcendental because it's true because we're organic creatures. We
Mm,
there's nothing. This body thing was the planet made that.
it sure did.
It didn't
And
make
before
your
that, I guess
mom.
the
Your mom
universe
didn't
made the
make it.
planet.
Your mom. The planet made your mom too. Your
Hey,
mom.
leave my mom out of this. Well, the planet didn't make my mom, my grandma and grandpa did.
What's the last good movie you saw recently?
Hey, you know the movie that's affected me the most
Godzilla
recently?
minus one.
Which one?
Godzilla minus one. Did you see it in the theater?
No, I didn't. Did you?
God damn it!
Oh, you wanted to talk about that one?
Godzilla minus one is the best movie of the fucking last 3 years.
I gotta see it. I gotta go see
But
it.
now you're gonna see it on a small screen and you're gonna lose everything.
Is it out? It's not in theaters anymore?
No, dude, you missed it, man.
Oh,
I took mushrooms and saw it.
that's probably the way to do it.
Fuck yeah. That was a good mushroom movie. That was a good mushroom movie.
But
Japanese made, Japanese title.
shiitake mushrooms,
Shiitake mushrooms. Well, mushroom mushrooms. Psilocybin, golden caps. This is a
the
free
best
form.
kind.
We're not getting paid to do this podcast. I don't have to. I'm not trying to not make people mad.
No,
Uh,
let's make people mad.
mushrooms.
Let's make people mad.
Okay, let's make it matter. What are
Arr.
you talking about? So let's
The
talk
movie I
about
like,
mushroom.
a really good movie is The Society of the Snow, I think it's called. It's on Netflix. It's about those guys who got trapped in the Andes in the snow, the plane crash in the Andes in the 80s or the 70s.
And
They
they,
made a, they made another movie about it called Alive. Remember that?
I
Alive?
saw that in theater.
They have to start like eating each other and stuff. But it's basically a remake of that. But I think it's a really good remake. And that movie just really gave me a sense of like, oh, I'm alone, I'm starving, and like how desperate you would be. It was really visceral in the way that it affected me. And the movie starts out with this line. I mean, it's translated, I guess, from Spanish, but it's like, some people say what happened to us was a tragedy. Other people say it was a miracle. And you can totally see how it is both, actually. And I love that. It's just like a crazy. It's like a story of. It's a tragedy, but it's also a story of survival. So
What's
I
the last
definitely
movie?
recommend that one.
What's the last movie you saw in a theater?
American Fiction. I saw
Oh,
American.
you
Have you
saw,
seen that one?
I did see that. I did a little review on it on here.
Oh, how? Yeah, you like it? I
I
loved it.
I like the writing. I like the
Yeah,
dialogue. I like the performances. I liked a lot of things. I get a big thumbs up. I like that dialogue was really nice and snappy. And
yeah, really good writing, I think.
and Diana, I didn't know that it was Diana Ross's kid. And but
Oh, I,
like watching her, she played the sister of the main character. What's this
yeah,
guy?
Tracy Ellis Ross,
Yeah,
right?
she
Yeah,
is.
I
She
didn't know she was
just
Diana
has
Ross's
that little.
daughter.
She's got that thing, man. I was like, maybe it's just because I'm a child of the '80s, but
Yeah,
I didn't know she was. She ate up
she
this.
was a Ross. It must be her daughter, right? Diana
Yeah,
Ross's daughter.
yeah, and but I liked the simplicity of it. I like the location of it.
Yeah,
I like the
the multiple endings.
I like the writer third person perspective of it.
Yeah, yeah,
And because as a writer, that's a little. Was it a
yeah,
perfect? Was it a perfect movie? No, but I did like what they did.
yeah. Me too. I almost. I guess it was a comedy, right? Like,
Yeah, it's a
my
comedy,
buddy and I were in the
but
theater, like
it's got
laughing.
like that little hints of sensibility. Like I like those. Like it's all. It can be a play in a way. It's a play.
Mm.
but that beach setting
Yeah,
and the
I love that.
scenarios with the sister, because I didn't see the sister thing happening. No spoilers.
Right. Yeah. No, I
I
actually
don't.
saw the movie twice, and I forgot that the sister thing happened. So when it happened again, I was like, "Oh my God, how did I forget
Yeah,
that
because
that happened?"
I cared so much about it. She glowed. She was glowing. She glowed.
Yeah. I even told my sister, I was like, "That kind of they remind me of us somehow."
And I like the cigarette. She smokes a cigarette. So it was kind of like, but that was also foreshadowing. Oh, we've said so much. Did we spoil
Ah,
it?
have we
No,
said?
no,
I don't know.
no.
Maybe we haven't said enough.
So wait, where do you see this? I want to get more because I really don't have. I mean, I've got like a, I'm in a small bubble here over in Oregon
Oh,
with,
you're in Oregon right now?
yeah, where'd you think it was?
I thought you were in LA.
No.
Okay. Well, good for you.
Yeah, yeah.
My sister's in Oregon.
Oh, really? Where? Don't
Port,
say. We can
I
believe it.
can't say. I
We
don't
can
want to.
believe it. Is it
It
towards
starts with a.
Portland?
It rhymes with. Starts with P and rhymes with Ortland.
Well, yeah. Well, are you going to come over here and come over here?
Yeah, I gotta get up there, Sarah. I gotta come visit. Hopefully, I will.
Why wouldn't you go? Come, come.
Well, I didn't even know. I didn't. I literally didn't even know you were in Oregon until right
No,
now.
I can't. I can't keep up with you, LA
I
people,
can't keep up with you. I've been in the same place.
dude.
But
You guys are like,
anyway,
you guys are rock stars over there, kicking it out with the rain, the rain.
Hollywood Bay. Oh yeah,
Oh,
you got. We did a plot twist. It's like we're the Pacific Northwest now. Our winters are rainy and wet.
yeah,
Welcome
keep it
to.
that way because LA needs all the rain it can to wash out all the bullshit.
And there's no shortage of bullshit here.
Yeah. Are you finding? Are you enjoying your job these days? Are you happy?
I don't
What's
know. Is anyone from my job listening? I feel a little burnt out in my job front, and I'm supposed to be able to take a month off at some point, like a sabbatical. And I want to just like for a month, I want to just be like an artist.
you are an artist, dude. What are you
Yeah, I
talking?
am an artist. I am an artist.
You're a singer.
I just want to introduce people, uh, introduce myself as like a filmmaker or an artist or something, rather than like
You need to get out of LA, dude.
I'm a software engineer.
No, it's you need to get out of LA.
You think I need to get out of LA?
Yeah, because you're showing me all the red flags.
But I came here because I wanted to move towards like Hollywood and creativity and stuff. You're
You,
saying I would maybe find it in a different way in a different place?
I don't know, man. Like to be honest with you, like I love LA. I cut my teeth on that place pretty hardcore. I gave it like 1,000. I gave it. I bled on the street of LA. My soul is in the concrete of LA. I mean, I feel like I've seen it in a holographic version so many different times that I've been there so
Mm,
many different times that I don't think I need to go there again.
I feel you, man.
Because I've done it I've done it when I've had the most money. I've done it when I've had the no money. Cross section,
Seen the full
crosshair,
spectrum.
three dimensional, 360-degree vision. I've seen it. I gave it. I love it. I don't want to. I'm not an angry person. I'm not like. I'm trying not to be like PTSD from it.
You're not
But
bitter. You're not bitter about
no,
what
no, no, no,
LA
no,
did
no,
to you.
no, no. But in hindsight, it's a good story, and we get the podcast. But there's many different ways to disseminate, creativity, like the alpha omega, the mutation of alchemy. Like transiting
Yeah,
the positive. And when and now I'm like gonna turn 55, which is stupid to me. And I don't.
that's alchemy from
That's me
youth into.
not young anymore. That's the alchemy. And I don't real that's comes ever as you inch towards 50 to get the clock to 51, 52, 53, 54, 55.
Got to keep running the clock.
It's a really funny little clock that is.
It is a funny clock. I know. It never stops going. And sometimes you think it's really meaningful, and sometimes you're like, it means nothing. And we're all
I
just going
think
back to the earth.
I think actually I am more willing to give chances and you don't give a shit. And which is kind of fun because it's like the frivolity I had when I was like in my teens or before the 30s and the 40s. It was
Yeah.
like
Well, there's good stuff
devil
all
may
along.
care, devil may care sort of attitude, which is kind of
Yeah. I don't know. I go through, there's like different ways because it's like, I guess I also want to not give a fuck. Like, not give, in a way, I guess what I would want to be the most is like courageous and cool. Like, those are the things that I would most want to be described as.
how does
Um,
how does that how do are you just intrinsically courageous or cool? You don't have to really.
yeah, well, all those things. I'm just saying, like, first of all, I think being cool is to some degree not giving a shit, like doing what you want to do, not caring what other people think about you. Then again, what people think is cool in some cases might be like a highly choreographed, highly rehearsed, performance essentially. Um,
But that's not
and
real.
that like, but that's no, that's not me. I would like to just be putting out whatever I want into the world. And by the way, I think most of what I want to do is good stuff. Like, it's productive. I like
Yeah,
building
you're not
things.
like you
And
don't have like a Nazi flag or anything
no,
there.
I don't have any Nazi flags around. I have my Ukrainian flag, which some people on the right, they like to call them Nazis because they're doing Putin propaganda.
You gotta get back
But
to that. We're gonna talk about Russian Ukraine stuff again too, as well.
I'm
I don't.
sure we will. I think my fantasies, or like what I wanted to be when I grew up, was like filmmaker, and then some kind of performer too, like comedian. I guess comedian would maybe be my fantasy. Um, but I haven't necessarily found like a comedic
Like
art
a
form
sketch.
that I
You're
feel
like
like
a
really
sketch
worked.
guy. You're like a sketch guy. You do good and
Yeah, but then again, I haven't really written that many sketches that I'm like that
no,
proud of
no.
or whatever either.
As
It's
a
like
as
there's a
a as
weird.
a
I've done improv. I'm not that proud of my improv. I've tried stand up. I haven't really found my material. I sort of feel like the thing that I'm best at is um, improvisational speech, which is funny because I haven't really felt like I was funny tonight, but I've just been enjoying our conversation. But I guess what I'm saying is, I came to when I moved to LA, I was kind of thinking, oh, maybe I can transition from working kind of in technology, which feels kind of distant to me, to doing something that's more like working with people, like making people laugh, making people cry, and just I don't know, making art. Like, that's my fantasy, I guess, is to be an artist like you. But
in your fantasy.
yeah, you pretty much are my fantasy.
God, I hope you get a bit of a higher bar than that. But
You are my
but well,
fantasy.
freedom is a big deal, man. Freedom, like I've
Yeah,
given up a lot of stuff to be free. I mean, I don't have children, I don't have a girlfriend, I haven't gotten laid in fucking 4 years, which goes back to that
yeah,
first podcast where was complaining that I didn't get gotten
the
laid
prego.
a
We
lot.
call him the prego
And then
manic.
I told this I was talking to some people and other friends at F Stop, and I said that out loud because I've been dork. And somebody's like, dude, it's been 10 years since I got laid. I was like, dude, what the fuck? Are you kidding me?
So,
And so
ladies, if you want,
apparently I'm not the only one.
yeah, exactly. So you, by being vulnerable about that confession, you created a safe space where other
Not
people.
by choice.
No, maybe
I
by
do have
serendipity.
I do have high standards. Like every girl
Hmm.
I ever went out with has been individualized and actually beautiful in their own way and gorgeous. And so I have a high benchmark, and I know that I'm a I got probably about I'm having deja vu of our last conversation from our
Hmm.
first podcast because
What
I,
did
I
we talk
talked
about?
about how much money I had on that podcast. I think I've got about $75 in my name.
You mean you made $75 from the podcast?
No, no, I've got $75 to my name.
Oh, that's what you have to your name. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So girls don't like that.
They want a wealthy. They want a
Yeah, yeah.
wealthy producer.
Well, they want somebody, and we talked to a woman that I've seen on various podcasts and forums and in real life.
By the way, we don't like to judge all women monolithically here.
No, 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 no. But this is just what I heard.
Yeah,
Um,
the prevailing winds.
that they want stability,
Mm,
which I
who
don't
doesn't? Because you're living on the edge.
and
You're living.
they want stability. Apparently, from what I've understood, is means money.
Yeah, in our society, I suppose it does.
So I have neither of those two things.
But you're still here,
Well, I have art. I got
and you
paint.
have art.
If you like,
Exactly.
if you want to subscribe to this podcast and buy art, I do have art, and I am a living artist.
Are you
Don't
gonna
buy
put?
my art when I'm dead because I'm not going to sign the back of it. You know what? I'm
I
not
know, right?
going to start. Not. I figured I'm doing a commission painting for this girl, and she left a sour taste in my mouth.
Oh,
This whole like texting back and forth and shit. And I did it for $100, right? $100. I'm doing an original oil painting for her, and
man,
maybe I'll show a picture of it right here.
good.
I'll put it in.
Yeah, I want to see it.
But I did based on a photograph out of a hotel room. But she left such a sour taste in my mouth about it.
She was trying to stiff you from the $100.
No, she already gave me the $100, but I mean, I'm Brett Woods. I'm
Was
doing
she?
an original painting for $100. I mean, this is ridiculous. I'm not gonna sign the painting. I don't think.
Oh, that's gonna be your holdout. Well, what did she? What did she do that left a sour taste in your mouth? Are you allowed to say?
I can say though, this is my podcast. This is Best of
Yeah,
Friends episode 127 with Michael Stone.
you can say whatever you want. I'm wondering. I'm like, are you trying to maintain a relationship with this person? Have you
Just
already written her off? Is she dead to you?
no, nobody's dead to me.
That's good. That's good.
Nobody's dead to me.
It's good to be
It's just
forgiving
like
because when you
it's
forgive,
just I
you.
made $100, and trust me, this is like, you go get a color copy made of this thing if you want. You
Was
know,
she nitpicking your painting? Was she like, I didn't want it like this. I wanted it.
no, it's just the time crunch. I thought I had more
Okay.
time to do it than I did, and she thought she's on pills. It's one of the scenarios where I know people are on pills because I don't like people on pills. Not
They give you a bad vibe.
yeah, I can tell right away because I've had so many things happen with people on pills,
Oh yeah.
so I'm super sensitive to it, and I knew it going in. I was like, do I even do $100 painting in oil for a chick? Like she bought some stuff before. Anyway, she'll probably never see this podcast like everybody else. But I don't give a
Only the sad
fuck.
people won't. The
Uh,
lucky ones will. The lucky oones are watching this podcast right now.
so wait, so
We appreciate you.
where were we talking about the what do we want to get back to? Because I want
Well,
to
there's
come full circle.
one thing was about how as we're moving through history, we're getting more advanced and we feel like we're evolving, but we're also getting farther away from like the land. Like if you look at a Amazonian jungle dwelling tribe, they might probably know obviously know way more about all the plants in their world and what you can eat in the wild and um, how to avoid getting bitten by mosquitoes when you're in the jungle and like they're sustainable with their living, whereas an average Westerner is like in a glass and metal box driving around burning all kinds of fossil fuels that takes millions of years to create. I mean, there's definitely a huge disconnect there. Um, but the question is like, are we getting stupider or are we getting wiser? Like collectively, there's much, much more knowledge.
It's obviously both.
It's obviously both.
It's like
Yeah,
that's the crux, isn't it? Is that that razor's edge, in a way,
yeah,
because we're like dealing with multiple. We're kind of basically coming into our own with our computer overlords.
coming into our own. Yeah, we might be ushering in
The new
the
era.
new thing,
We
and
are. We
the new
are.
era could
This is
just be
there's no doubt. Nothing has been said on this podcast that's more true than what you just fucking said.
that we're ushering in the next era of over robot overlords. It's probably
You
true.
better not
It
me.
might be inevitable.
No, dude, it's part of the program.
It might be. I mean, maybe maybe the planet was basically a seed it was designed to grow into a computer. Basically, that there is one theory that that's like the ultimate basically purpose of the universe is just to become a giant computer and to know itself, which seems kind of lame on one level. It's like computer, really? But on the other hand, it's like everything that ever was and ever can be conceived is like would be processed in.
If you're
But more
taking
specifically,
sorry.
well, just like on Earth, though, we might just like how we evolved from monkeys, but there are still monkeys. We might usher in this new like AI computer era, and then for a long time there might be like humans and computers working side by side. Then maybe it becomes obvious that the computers are running the show and the humans are like sort of zoo animals just moving around. That the computers keep an eye like they're going to be infinitely smarter than us. So to them, we're just like little charming animals. And at some point, they might be like, it's not worth it for us to maintain life on Earth. Like the new thing is the silicon based intelligence that can build itself faster and faster. It's going to figure out how to improve itself, to reprogram itself. And it'll be like, we need to turn all the oceans into giant silicon reactors, and we need to mine, like, turn the entire planet into the Borg spaceship, basically. That could be the future that's coming. And we just might have helped. We're a part of it. Maybe they'll remember us in their history books.
Probably
But
not. Probably not.
but in the same, I mean, so we think that we live through our children, right? That's what you and I both have not had children, so there's this
Not
exist.
together, anyways. We haven't had. We would not
We
spot.
haven't had children together or separately.
But this might be our child.
It is, in a
This
way.
podcast is our child.
Yeah.
Or
This video is one of our creative creations. And even if your family and your children live for like hundreds of generations, there's still no promise that maybe they'll get snuffed out. But theoretically, even if all the humans get killed, but we get recorded into this giant computer, then like we're a part of history
I used to
forever.
think that like I never wanted to. Sometimes it did cross my thought that I didn't want to give like because life is so painful sometimes like they're gonna have to die at some time. So when you give birth to a child, you're signing them up for a death sentence.
Mm, that's true. You're signing them up for a death
They
sentence.
didn't
Yeah.
even know they even
As
agreed to
soon as
that.
you bring them into the world.
They didn't agree to that. Did they? Was that
No.
like, oh, thanks. Everything's got cotton candy, flowers, popcorn, chocolate cake, antlers, buffalo, giraffes, whales. Oh, dead.
Bob's your uncle.
I'm
I like that
sorry.
idea
I
that
thought you would like it. I
you
thought
sh
you
I,
would have a good time. So sorry. I didn't mean to give birth to you if you didn't want it.
oh, I did. Maybe I mean it's like welcome to Earth. Here's your death certificate. You just we'll fill in the date for you later.
Do you think
Because
you've ever been born again? Do you think you were on this planet before?
well, what I was just thinking a second ago was I was like, oh yeah, we want to have our collective consciousness into the computer thing that's going to live forever because it's so important that like Michael Stone consciousness needs to live on because the world needs Michael Stone consciousness. Like it's so unique and wonderful. Um, but like sometimes I think that's probably
Sounds like you're
exactly
getting to be an old man. You're. I was there 10 years ago when I was thinking things like this.
the world needs to hang on. Yeah, but it's like, I mean, I also think that maybe it's exactly the same way that you feel and that everyone feels is like, oh, I am this observing consciousness, and
I would have loved to have had kids. Trust me, I would have loved to have had kids. I
yeah,
mean,
I
not
love
too
kids too,
late
but
because
a lot of
Chaplin had
work.
kids till he was 90. But like I would
Mm.
have loved to have a child that looked like me or had some attribute or some sort of shine of what this beautiful Brett Woods is.
A little
Just,
bit of Brett
just
Woodsiness,
to maybe spark something.
a little Brett Woods acorn.
But isn't that the ego that talks like that? Because
Yeah,
isn't that the ego talking when you say things like that?
it is.
But it would be a wonderful place.
Yeah, and so ego is so interesting because I think like they say you could maybe separate yourself from the ego, right? But
Yeah.
it seems like they're pretty closely interwoven. I don't know if it is possible to separate yourself from it.
Well, that's what happens when you die, because there is no ego.
Yeah, I suppose you're right, but then also your other consciousness dies too.
Well, the body.
It's like some people say you could separate your orgasm from your ejaculation. Have you heard that one? Like
Hello.
that.
Hello. Um,
Like
we're
they're
gonna put
separate.
we should put like an animation up right now, like an animation of something like a
Hello.
fruit basket or something. Uh,
Yeah, fruit basket
so wait,
obscured.
what was it? What was it? What did you say?
So, like when I was in college, this guy who was from Romania or whatever, he was like, the orgasm and the ejaculation are two different things. They happen at the same time usually, but you can train yourself to separate them. And then it's kind of
And
like I
see
think it
this,
was like a tantra practice.
so
Like
wait, did you see this person? Was this in a room someplace that you were
the
in?
conversation was in a room. I never saw him have an ejaculation or an orgasm. I have to take his word for it. And actually, to this day, I don't know if I should take his word for him or if he was full of shit. But probably there's a lot of people out there, all the billions of people watching this. There's got to be some tantric lovers out there who are like, oh, yeah, I can like stifle the ejaculation, but have the orgasm and then have another one. Um, I mean, there's been some moments, I guess. I feel like especially if I was on some psychedelic substance or something, where it's just like, whoa, did that happen? Did that really happen? But
Oh,
for the most part, this is inappropriate. This is inappropriate
this is
for
not
our
really
younger viewers.
appropriate.
Is there going to be an 18 or over
No, there's
disclaimer on
not
this
made
video?
for children. No, I always on YouTube. They ask me, and it's never. I've had maybe one thing that's been appropriate for children. And
I've had one thing that was appropriate for children that's ever come out of my mouth. Everything else was inappropriate.
yeah,
Um,
they got me. I'm tagged.
Wait, I just had a thought and now I've lost it.
You can find it. It's there.
Yeah, it's in there about inappropriate for children.
You can find it. I can see it.
Oh, I know what I was going to say. I grew up in a very restrictive Catholic household where we totally like never talked about sex and we couldn't watch any TV or movies that had any like sexual innuendo. We had to go to church every Sunday, Catholic church.
Oh,
Um, my dad didn't go because he's a Jew, but everybody else
Catholic
went.
Jewish household.
Yeah, so I'm a Catholic Jew. I'm a cashew.
Man, no wonder.
No,
That explains a lot. That
that right?
you just
Exactly.
held. You just said it all right there, baby.
Just feeling guilty about everything. Got guilt coming out my ears, out my schwanz.
Yeah, if we had animation, I just thought like a splashing.
A splash of guilt just blasting out of me. So yeah, sometimes I like the idea of people who speak really openly and about sex, but I still feel like a little bit of like, is mom going to be watching this video? Are children that I'm supposed to be a good role model for?
No, you're
Because
not.
I'm not.
No,
But wait a minute, I'm not a bad role model. I'm probably a good role model. I think in general I'm an overall good person, like more good. I think I'm a better than average
you want to
person.
be perceived as a role model.
Yeah, actually. I mean, I don't. I do want to be perceived as a role model.
So what do
Not
you
like in
a
that
role
super
model?
clear cut
That's
way
a
of it or
whole
whatever.
other conversation. Now we're talking about role model. What do you want to do to be a role model? Come on,
I mean, I think that like
see the truth.
what I bring to this world in terms of like my outlook, my thoughtfulness or whatever. I just feel like I'm a good guy. Like I've made some mistakes and I'm definitely not perfect, but I also acknowledge that. And I think that when I want to be, I'm a good listener and I'm good at understanding what's going on inside of other people sometimes, and that's a good thing. Like I think I'm an empathetic person. I
You know,
love
you know,
life. I love dancing and singing and just a lot of stuff. I got a lot of love, and I'm a responsible person. I pay my bills. I have a car and
you want to? I might. I was gonna see if I could go pee real quick, and you could maybe sing them a song.
sure, yeah.
I hate to put you on the spot, but I feel like this is a good
You're gonna
segment.
be on the spot.
I'll
Okay,
be
I'll go see if I'll see if I can do some karaoke or something while
yeah.
you pee.
You want to do so? I'll put you on full screen.
Okay,
And when I come back in, I won't interrupt you. So
okay, that's fine.
you'll close it out. Is that
Great.
cool?
Yeah. Uh, no, I didn't. Wasn't planning on singing,
Well,
but
you're good at this stuff. This is your wheelhouse. This is where you shine.
okay. I love
All right.
karaoke. All right. Well, so we're at karaoke now, and what should we sing? I feel like I was working on a karaoke song recently. Hmm. Now I'm like my mind's going all these different places. There's one song I want to sing for my dad. It's a song that he likes, and it's like a classical music song that's in German. And he, when I was in high school, I think sophomore year, it was parents go to school night, and my parents came, and our English teacher had us read this poem that was from Goethe, so it was German, but I guess we had the English translation. And the song and the poem is about a a father riding home in a storm or a stormy night on his horse, and he has his child with him, and the child is sick and dying, and the dad needs to ride home before it's too late. And then the song is it's called the Earl King, and the Earl King is like a figure that the child is perceiving. It's kind of like a demon seducing him, almost seducing him to death. And so it's like, oh, come with me, child, and you can sing and dance by the seashore with my mother and my daughters. And the child's like, Dad, do you see? Do you see the Earl King? And the dad's like, shut up, son. That's just a shadowy figure. And the son's like, no, don't you see? So there's like three voices in the song. There's the Earl King. Actually four. There's the narrator, the Earl King, um, the child, and the dad. So this was at parents go to school night, sophomore year, and on the way home, then my dad was telling me the story. He was like, "Oh, your teacher um, was talking about that poem by Goethe, The Earl King. I know that poem." And she didn't say the most interesting thing about it, which was that it was made into a song, like 100 years after the fact, Schubert, by Schubert. And Schubert wrote this, like put it to music, and so then it became a famous song. It's like a standalone. It's not like part of an opera. It's just a song, and it's called The Earl King. And I wanted to sing it for my dad before he dies. He's old, twice my age. He'll be 86 in April. I'm 43. Um, and he's had some health challenges lately, so you never know how long anybody will be around. But I tried to sing it for him once. I've just been talking this whole time. But actually, this maybe the talking is as interesting as the singing, or more.
What did I miss?
Um, yeah, that's true. Wait, what were we talking about again?
I'm not sure what we were talking about. I'm
No, I'm saying what
go for
what?
another 5 hours. So, like, uh,
Oh, editing. It was
I
editing,
didn't
of course.
eat, so I'm good. I'm good.
Sorry, my brain just shut off right there, and I had to reboot it.
Oh yeah, it's fine. You got plenty of hard drive in there, right? You got a hard drive.
Rebooting.
You're good.
Yeah, no, editing is kind of an interesting. It can be like a flow
You
state activity, actually. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Especially it's so easy right now. There's so many. Like I just use iMovie.
Mm,
Super easy.
yeah, I've messed around. I used to do a lot of editing on Premiere, actually. And then it's like the phone actually made everything so easy um, to do things that used to take a long time. You'd just be like, click the button. It's like doing it, like sort of green screen type stuff, like edit out the background. Photoshop has AI integrated into it now. You can like cut out. You can just be like, put a dinosaur there, and it'll be like, bloop,
Yeah, but
dinosaur.
that's but like every media is gonna have a timestamp on it. Like in the it's gonna show the thing is practical effects in camera on those miniatures, super miniatures, all those different things. Those stand the test of time. When you do like it will show in time. Like it might not at some point, but like it will show in time the time that it was made. Like you look at Logan's Run, which is amazing for that. Do you know Logan's Run?
I'm trying to remember. I don't think I've actually seen it. No, I've like heard
God,
of it.
I okay. Logan's Run is like a '70s sci-fi movie that was made in the is very hippie sci-fi.
I'm gonna watch it. Maybe I'll watch it tonight.
It's one of the top 10 movies of all time.
Just imagine a world where you will hold your entire future in the palm of your hand, when a tiny glowing crystal will guide you through an existence in which each day is more wonderful than the last, where it will be possible for you to obtain the fulfillment of every fantasy, the satisfaction of every vanity, the absolute attainment of every wish.
Metro Goldwyn Mayer presents the Saul David production of Logan's Run. A fantastic journey through a world beyond imagination. Welcome to the 23rd century. The perfect world of total pleasure. Imagine a world in which you need never be alone. You touch a switch, turn a dial, and the perfect lover steps into your arms. Every pleasure is yours to experience.
Runner! There's just one catch.
When the tiny crystal in the palm of your hand flashes its final message, your time is up. Michael York is Logan.
Run, Logan!
Policeman in a perfect world.
No!
Trained to track down runners.
Run, Logan!
Until he is forced to run himself.
He's a runner.
Logan! I'm your friend, I understand. We all go crazy once in a while. But she's a runner, and it's over.
Overwhelming, am I not?
Box, an incredible being. More than human, more than machine. Diabolical guardian of the gateway to freedom. For Logan and the woman who loves him.
Terminator.
I've never seen a face like that before. That must be the look of being old.
MGM takes you into a new age of adventure in the first motion picture of the 23rd century. Logan's Run. It begins where imagination ends.
Anyways, it's fantastic. Watch the whatever extended HD version you can get with that. But they've been trying to remake that, and that's been anyways, there's a timestamp to everything. So what it comes down to is a story. Because like things are going to look different in different genres. Like in 2030, it's going to look at a 2030 movie.
Yeah, like people will judge.
In 2030, they'll be looking at movies like Us, like in from like 2024, and going, "Oh my God, look how crazy that looked! That was so stupid." You know, they actually they went to the movie theater. That's hilarious.
There might even actually be a stupidity Olympics that they'll register us in.
Oh no, that's already been happening. That's since the dawn of time. That's humanity. There's people are taking notes for sure. Somewhere.
Yeah, that's true.
So let's get back to this Russian-Ukraine thing. What the fuck?
Oh, you want to go back to that?
Yeah, because I want to fucking figure this shit out. What the fuck do you think is gonna happen? In a best case scenario? What would happen? And in a worst case scenario happen?
Okay, honestly, I just think best case scenario is Putin has like a brain aneurysm. The country just like wakes up out of their collective stupor, and they're like, "What the hell were we thinking?" That's like the best case scenario right there. And of course, we were talking before about the stain of Trump, like on our psyche, like how he's kind of divided us against each other, and that really is the worst thing. That's totally the worst thing. Because there's two totally different narratives playing out. In one narrative, Trump is like this do-good businessman who just want to make America great, and he got targeted by the justice system, the weaponized justice system. They're going after him
Yeah,
because
but that's
he was
all
the
we
one.
all know that's bullshit. That's like
I know
fucking
you and I know it's bullshit, but like a lot of people
It's
still buy
eight
into
o'clock
it.
NBC on fucking commercial television. It's like, where is this coming from?
People are still support. He still has die-hard supporters. There's people that like would die for Trump out there, and of course, Trump wouldn't do shit for them. Trump wouldn't even like
They didn't like
have
it,
dinner with them, probably, like
but
you said.
they didn't like it like that. Like they
They
like the fact
they
that
would.
I had an interesting
They want him to be their king. People just want to have a king named
I
Trump.
had an interesting conversation with some friends
Yeah.
in Kaiser or something like that, or people had met these Mexican guys, and I was talking to them.
Hmm.
This is like around like the 2021s or whatever when I was over here. Back then, I was like, as and the whole border thing was happening.
Yeah.
It was, and I was talking to
I
them
know a guy
about
named Caesar.
the Mexicans coming in the old border and all this shit, and they're like, I said, what do you think about that? They're all like, no, he's right. Keep them from coming out here. Like these are Mexicans talking about people coming from
Oh
Mexico.
yeah, there are a
They're
lot
like
of like
they were
first
like
generation
they were like
immigrants
they're like no,
who
he's
want
right.
who like
I don't want any
yeah.
more Mexicans here either.
Yeah, that opinion is out there. A lot of Cubans in Miami, they love
like
Trump, and
like and the Mexican they have they're Mexican. They're like that's it. That's all we get. That's no. You guys know more.
yeah, well, some people definitely have that opinion, especially a lot of people who are like, well, I immigrated legally or whatever. I'm here now, or my family's here, multiple generations. We don't
It's
want other
very
people jumping over,
the weird
sneaking.
Republicans tilt, right? It's a Republic. It's a real
Yeah.
weird, like out of left field. Maybe no.
Well, that's what they're trying to make the border into this crisis right now. Maybe it really is a crisis. I don't know. Maybe there's too much.
Apparently, they're making another crisis.
Yeah, they're saying that it's a crisis. I don't perceive it as a crisis, but they're saying that the number of illegal crossings has been like in the millions under Biden or whatever. Um, so the weird thing is they always say on the news like, oh, the Democrats want this illegal immigration because they think all those people will become Democrats. But I don't think that's necessarily even true, because just like what you're saying, a lot of people, once they sort of become like assimilated into the American culture, or not even fully assimilated, maintaining some of their ethnic, like individual, like their old culture, maintaining, a subculture. There's a subculture. There's the Jewish subculture. There's the Mexican subculture, Latino culture, whatever, Black culture. I can name minorities.
Most of California is Mexican.
Yeah, and it was Mexico until
Well,
like the
apparently,
United States,
yeah, that's
until
the
the
whole.
border
That's that.
crossed. The
Boom!
border, we
That's
didn't
the whole
cross the
thing.
border. The border
It's
crossed
like
us. So
San
it's
Diego.
true.
That's
I mean, all that
that's
stuff
the real fuck
is
down.
so true. The borders have been fluid. This is
That was
California
a
is a
very
Spanish
we got
name.
fucked on that.
All Los Angeles, everything was Spanish here. All the was founded by the Spaniards, literally.
Oh,
Wasn't
dude,
even
they
Mexico
killed
yet.
people died for that.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think they're manufacturing the border crisis. I think that the MAGA Republicans in Congress are using the border crisis as an excuse to like hold the government hostage. They're like, Biden's not doing anything about the border. We're not going to do anything about Ukraine. And then the Democrats were like, oh, okay, fine. We'll give you a border deal and we'll give you a Ukraine deal. And they're like, you know what? We don't even want a border deal anymore. You didn't do it before. Now it's too late. Now we're not going to do anything till Trump's back in office. And then the Democrats and the sane people are like, what are you talking about? The election is a year away. You can't just shut the government down for the next 6 months and think people are going to be like, oh, things aren't going too good. We better vote for the other guy.
That
When
just happened just now.
you're manufacturing the crisis.
Didn't that just happen just now?
Yeah, it's just going on right now. The Senate passed a bill to support Ukraine with $60 billion. They're running out of ammo. This is like, give them the ammo they need.
If Russia gets a hold of Ukraine,
Yeah, it's going to be a terrible tragedy. It's like
no, not
40
just
million
for
people will
them.
be
No,
living in.
no,
Well,
that's
first of all, he'll have to destroy it. It goes back to the thing about the relationship. If I can't have you, I will kill you. That's how Russia is seeing Ukraine right now. It's like, I know you're gonna come back with me. You belong with me,
Yeah,
Ukraine. You're my girl. We belong together. And Ukraine's like, no, I don't want any part of you. You're a brute. I'm free now. I'm free. And then Russia's like, no, you're coming back with me. All right, you get over here. And then she's like, no, let me alone. And then like, oh, fine,
Russia's sort of
help, help, help. He's attacking me.
he's a
And then
Pepe
the
Le
world's like,
Pew.
oh, should we help out? Yeah, like, hey, stop hitting that woman. Yeah, get away. And then the guy's like, hey, this is between us. You stay out of this, you fucking West, you fucking NATO. Back off. This is Russian territory here. And so it's like it's totally basically a toxic relationship where the woman is trying to escape and the man is like, if I can't have you, I'm going to kill you. And I think Putin would destroy the entire country with this war. If we don't help them, the Ukrainians will have to keep backing up. Russia will come
So
and
does that
destroy.
inevitably
They'll destroy every city.
does it inevitably just make us basically at war with Russia?
I mean, I think we are. I think we actually have to admit that we're at war with Russia because I think Russia represents the mafia. I think we should be at war with the mafia. The mafia has control of an entire country with nuclear weapons and half of the oil and gas reserves and uranium, all these really important things. The biggest country in the world. It's run by the mafia. And there's one guy who's at the head of it, and he doesn't give a shit about
But
anyone or
do
anything other
you
than like
think,
his domain. He's like
do you think
a
Putin has to answer to anybody else? Is there higher ups?
no. No. He's basically the czar.
But like,
It
can
used to be an oligarchy. Nope, he is definitely the guy. Everybody there, he's almost like a god. I mean, people want to be able to complain about him, regular people, but people are pretty afraid of him. Like,
like, do
they
you
have,
think Putin, if he wanted to, could kill either one of us right now?
yeah. I mean, they have operatives all over the world, and they just recently killed a guy in Spain. Did you hear about that? This one guy, he stole a helicopter from Russia. I think he was like in the Russian army, and then he's like, "This war is bullshit." So he flew the helicopter to I think Ukraine, and he defected. He's like, "I'm one of you now. You can have the helicopter." And then they gave him asylum, and I think he went over to Spain. Russian operatives tracked that guy down, and they just killed him in Spain a couple of
How?
like last week. This is like last week.
How did they kill him?
I don't know. Let's look it up. Uh, let's Google it
You can Google it if you want.
because they often poison people. But I think this guy. I'm looking it up on my
What
phone
is
right
it
now.
like if you're in a situation like that, do you not want to like
Russian defector
would you
killed
not
in
like
Spain.
drink anything that you absolutely didn't know that was like clear water?
Well, I've even been thinking. I'm like, I've been pretty
Somebody-
vocal
it's like
about.
hand you a milkshake.
Yeah, I would.
You're
I'm
like,
so.
hey, this is great. It's got peanut butter and chocolate, and you got fucking caramel in there. It's fucking
I know.
Oh,
It'd be so easy to
oh,
put some fentanyl, right? They were like, oh, apparently 100,000 people a year are
and
dying
no
of
cool
fentanyl.
thing.
They
It's
didn't even
no
know it.
cool thing.
I don't know. Supposedly, maybe that's a manufactured crisis too. But yes, I would be afraid of. I'm afraid for it. Like the people who escaped from Russia, like who like went against Putin and then like had to escape. I like feel the fear in them, and it's like, oh my God, you're beyond the borders, you're safe. But they will come try to find you afterwards because it's like being in a gang. You try to leave the gang, we kill you. You try to leave the mafia, we kill you. Sorry, that's the price of admission. You're in for life. So I feel like that's how um, Putin feels about all his people, and that's how Russia feels about Ukraine. You can't leave. If you leave, we're gonna try to kill you. We're gonna kill you. In fact, we're gonna not stop at anything until we've either killed you or got you back.
So could this last for like this is like could go into like another 5 years, you think?
Well, it could. The weird thing is that we're like spoon feeding them the support. Like I think if a NATO and America, if America and Europe wanted to end this war, we could end it, in a week if we just actually sent, like a bunch of planes and missiles and shit over
That's
there.
World War III we were talking about.
Yeah, but then you start getting towards World War III. So, but I think there's an amount of ammunition that we could give them. They're really good. They're good fighters. And NATO has been training Ukrainian troops for like the last 10, 15 years. And they're fast learners. They're really motivated. They're fighting for their freedom and survival. The Russian army is fighting because someone behind them has a gun to their head saying, you need to keep marching forward into this artillery fire because we said so. Otherwise, we're going to fuck you up. Like, they literally are
They
torturing.
they got the guys out of jail to do
It's like, yeah, the whole army, like half of the army is criminals, and they have their own
that's a
criminal
movie right there. That's a
organization.
fucking
It
movie
is
right
actually
there.
that's the movie I want to make. The movie I want to make now is basically this
It's
whole
gonna be
thing
kind
is,
of gross, so it's gonna be kind of bloody.
yeah, it would be a bloody story, I guess. It's the story of the Russian Empire.
Wow,
Dun 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 dun.
fuck,
Dun.
dude.
Yeah, I feel like, well, maybe some people see us as the Empire. I
Because,
don't know.
but like in like the timestamp of things, if you could see yourself, okay, I'm gonna do like a crystal ball moment. Like, can we jump in time to 2010 or 20? Was it 2030? Right, that's the next big leap.
Yeah, 2030. Oh my God, it's the next
So,
one.
and like, if we could envision ourselves at 2030,
Hmm.
looking back at now,
Yeah, that's a good question. God, if the Ukraine war is still going in 2030, I'll be so upset. But it's already been going for 10 years. It really started in 2014.
no, it's not that far off, right? That's not a crazy question to ask.
Yeah, no, it very well might be still going on. It probably will be going on for
What does it look
years.
like with robotics and AI?
Well, it already is
Quantum
it's a
computing,
drone.
quantum computing, you don't even know. That's gonna like it's like that scene in fucking Terminator where like it goes online.
Yeah,
Goes
that's what it
AI.
seems like it's going because we have so many components of it. We have Elon Musk is going to basically be the person who brings in the Terminator era because he's got his satellites, he's got SpaceX. Tesla is actually building robots. Like they're
Zuckerberg built that
building.
thing. You see Zuckerberg built that thing in the Hawaii where the bunker.
Oh wait, isn't that Zuckerberg? Isn't it Mark
Zuckerberg, yeah,
Zuckerberg who has the
he
Hawaiian
built like a
bunker?
yeah, he's a bunker, dude.
All the billionaires are building
What does he
bunkers.
know? What does he know?
All the billionaires are building
What does he know that
bunkers.
we
There's the
don't know?
song. That's the song we can write.
What do you think he doesn't know that we don't know?
He knows a lot of stuff that we don't know. I actually think about this a lot. Like, does he know that it's only a question of 10 or 15 years until we basically the robots take over? He's actually stated that he's afraid of that. And he's developing Neuralink. Have you heard about Neuralink?
Yeah.
So that's their company to
They
implant.
put it in a person, right? They put it in a person recently.
Yeah, I think they did. Um,
The person's
maybe a
fuck
cancer
no.
patient or something. Yeah, and he's like controlling it. He's controlling a computer with his mind now. It might be, maybe it'll bring him back. I mean, in some cases, they're actually going to use it as therapies for people who can't, have lost their nerve,
Yeah, limbs and rehabilitation with a spinal cord injury and stuff like
limbs
that.
and ribs. Yeah, I know, which always seemed like a fate worse than death, right? To
No,
become a
there's gonna be
paraplegic.
that's the whole argument with the whole thing is that it'll do a lot of good, but people will probably
Yeah.
do some probably weird shit with it.
Yeah, well, no, we don't know what's going to happen. But Elon Musk has even said that one of the reasons he's developing it is because otherwise AI is going to develop so much faster than humans. He's like, we won't have an interface with them anymore. Like, we will be so slow that AI will be like, I can't deal with these humans. I ask him a question,
He's
and I have to wait until after dinner to get the response. So they need, like, the Neuralink is supposed to speed up our.
I can
We're
see
like the slowest people in the world to them.
but people the thing about human nature is people might like that.
That we might just welcome our
We
new overlords. We
totally
like our
love
phones. We
that
love our
shit.
phones. This
Oh,
is like my
dude.
favorite thing. I always have to have it. I'm
Oh,
like, where's my phone? Where's my phone? I have it on my pillow at night now, pretty much. For my phone's always there. Sometimes it even talks to me at night.
I have
Keeps me.
delivered food to people in mobile home parks,
Yeah.
like Skid Row, and they're ordering food like takeout, and they
Oh, nice. That's the modern times.
oh, dude, if I can, if I have that propensity, I'll edit some footage in that I shot in one of those parks, and it's amazing. It's amazing at how people can. It's we're living literally in that fucking.
Dystopia?
We might be that point, maybe a little bit.
I don't know. I mean, the fact that you can order food to like your RV or your tent or wherever you are in the world is actually, I think, kind of a cool feeling.
I like it.
I mean, after going to Burning Man, I'm all about like roughing
Well,
it and like
why fuck you? Don't pay
living
rent.
in a
Fucking
tent.
enjoy.
Might be cool. Get off grid. And
But
then
that's
the
like
idea
the
that like
settlers.
Uber Eats,
When you see those pictures of the settlers in the old times, like with the, like when they're taming the West,
yeah,
like those old black and white
go west,
tone
young, yeah,
pictures.
taming the West, yeah.
Yeah, the sepia tone pictures of like
Hmm.
people
You're
getting
gonna see the
killed.
Uber Eats guy
Yeah.
bringing the food to the to the wagon, to the chuck wagon. There should be the Uber Eats chuck, like the covered wagon that says Uber Eats on it. It's pulling up, or like Pony Express. Somebody orders, it's like I got here as quick as I could. Did someone order ahi tuna tacos 10 days ago?
Holy
In San
shit!
Francisco,
Holy shit! We're not that far removed.
I packed them on
Not that
ice.
far removed. That was 100 years ago. Look what happened.
Yeah,
Mel,
it's insane.
it's not that.
But the homeless problem is such a good example. It's like how we're not taking good care of each other. You know, it's so
But how would?
insensitive
But when
to
you
say
look at,
this, but
okay, I'm gonna play devil's advocate here for a second. But
yeah.
when have we ever really taken care of each other? Even
Oh,
just
that's a good
even
question.
just discussing that last timeline of the last 100 years or so, like
Yeah, and I
Roman
can't
times,
say yeah,
through Roman times and like Egyptian times, people are fucking going bananas on each other, like rape.
you're right.
And you're not supposed to mention rape on stuff like this because I might get flagged on YouTube for that. But
We
like,
can call it
but like,
pickling.
bleep it out if I can.
People were pickling
Like,
each other left and right back in the
but
day.
like, could you imagine back in the Egyptian times?
That's why they call it Egyptian screw. Egyptian rat screw. Yeah, no, I can't imagine. I mean, I don't. But here's the thing: on the one hand, and on the one hand, right? Like, definitely, there was periods of history where people are literally at war, trying to kill each other, and then there's periods of time where probably with the caste system, like if you're poor, you're worse than dead, and
We
you're
had like orgies and vomitoriums in the same spot. They're
yeah.
puking,
But that
fucking
maybe
in
that's a
the same
good thing
spot.
though,
Well, that's my dream too.
as long as they clean up after it.
Hey, it's a dream. That's the ultimate dream, really.
And they had collective toilets, right? The Romans, like you just sit down and you're like, "Hey, how you doing?" Like discuss the news of the
Someone's
day while you're
fucking
taking
right
your
next
shit.
to you, like, I'm taking a shit.
And then they had the slaves would wipe your ass for you afterwards.
Well, one can dream.
One can agree. Yeah, so there's, I mean, I was just thinking like in America, like 50 years ago or like 100 years ago, I feel like there was like churches and stuff that would like take you in if you were poor. But maybe I don't know if that's true. Like if
You're
you were poor, were
romantic.
you just left on the side of the road or whatever? I mean, that definitely seems like there's becoming more homelessness here in LA, at least. I don't know. And also up and down the whole West Coast seems
Well, I have
like,
to look over there right now. I actually now I gotta ask you what that question. You're in LA, you're in Santa Monica. I don't want to give away
yeah.
where you live, but
Well, it's such it's like there's millionaires and billionaires who live only a mile or two away from here, and then there's tons of homeless people, and also just people who are just barely getting by, and people who are getting squeezed on rent and stuff like that. So there's like a whole spectrum. It's kind of interesting, I guess. This place, I feel like Santa Monica, and particularly, maybe this sounds like a privileged thing to say, but I think it does actually have quite a lot of like socioeconomic diversity. Like, yeah, there's literally billionaires and there's people with nothing living side by side. And maybe that's okay. I don't know. Maybe that's
do you feel
by
comfy?
design.
Do you feel comfy?
I can sometimes feel guilty about how good I have it, and I sometimes feel like shit, man, I'm getting fucked over by this life. Like,
No, no,
you know?
the weather in LA is what you're there for, really.
Yeah, and I love the good weather here. But honestly, this last winter has been so weird. It's like this isn't what I signed up for. It's been raining and cold. I haven't been
Oh,
out I haven't been laid out in this. I used to go like lie on the beach all the time, like just in the middle of the day. Just go. I'm gonna go to the beach, get some vitamin D. But I feel like I haven't done that in 6 months because of this weird thing called winter.
yeah.
Like it's been raining,
Wait,
cloudy.
are you from the East Coast originally?
Yeah, I grew up in Chicago actually, so like I should be
Oh,
no. I love I
you
love the weather out here in general.
have no reason to be complaining about
I
anything.
don't. In fact, what I was
You
saying
know what
was
they call it? That's a Californication. Is you've been Californianized, and
I've
that's
been
what happens.
Californiaized.
Yeah, yeah, that's what happens. I've seen it. I've seen this many
I've
times.
been Californicated.
Yeah, yeah. Basically, I've seen this through time and space. I've been there. I've been. I know where you're at. I feel you. I see you.
Yeah.
I trust you.
So I you were asking me how do I feel like do I feel like I'm doing well or whatever? I feel like I'm just right in the middle. Like I'm keeping it together and shit and I live in a good place, but also like I can't
Ah!
afford to buy something where I live, right? Like I'm surrounded by people who I feel like
You,
are in another
you,
socioeconomic
maybe
league to
you,
me.
maybe you need to do something that's you're getting soft maybe a little bit.
I am. I'm totally getting soft. I should go on like on the Iditarod across Alaska. That's what I should do. That would toughen me up. Iditarod. That's what I need to do.
Oh, that's what all the kids in Russia and Ukraine are, and Israel and
Yeah,
Gaza are. What do you feel about the Gaza stuff?
I am soft though. I mean, I you go online and you like say a few pro-Ukraine things or whatever, and all these trolls come on there and they shout you down. And one of the things
Oh,
they like to
is somebody
say,
trolling you? You feel you're being trolled?
oh, all the time. I mean, most of the time I just feel like I'm
Can
ignored.
I ask
Uh,
you a quick question because I'm a nerd? Like I
yeah.
don't mean about trolling, but when somebody trolls you, what is that? Is
It's
that
basically they
gaslighting?
just so I know it on Twitter, or it used to be called Twitter. They basically just like put comments under your, or it could be on Facebook too. It's like you say something like, "I don't think Trump is a good president," and then everyone goes below in the comments, and they're just like, "Fuck you, man! Biden is an idiot," or whatever. Like they might just be disagreeing with you, but then I would say they start to insult you. They try to find things about you that they can tear you apart, and that's trolling. They're basically like bullying you
Yes,
online
it's
just by in
gaslighting.
the comments. But you and of course you can ignore it.
It's gaslighting, right? Gaslighting is what they call it.
I feel like gaslighting is if they're trying to make you feel crazy. And actually, there is an element of that too, because some of the stuff they do is they keep like changing the narrative. They're hitting you with a fire hose of falsehoods, and they're always changing the narrative. But how do we even get on this? What was the example I wanted to give was about
Trolling.
yeah, well, it's like most of the time since Elon Musk bought Twitter, it's just like most of the time I get nobody sees anything I post on there, but sometimes it gets noticed, and then I get like 20 or 30 or 50 of these random accounts. It's just somebody. It's like Joe Schmo 563 from Texas, and his picture is like a Texas flag, and he's just like, "You idiot! Don't you know it was NATO expansion that caused the war? Ukraine is a money smuggling operation. They're just, they have all these narratives that they just keep repeating and putting in different flavors that you have to like, okay, that's bullshit. That's like Kremlin propaganda. But it's overwhelming to the point where you don't even want to be on there anymore. So it's like it's dividing us. I don't know what my original point was. I think I lost my original train of thought.
I was following you for a while there. I copied you. Uh, so let's go like
Oh,
well,
and so wait, we were talking about yeah, in terms of how I'm doing, how I'm feeling about my life or whatever. I don't know. That wasn't
it's where
like I can sometimes feel guilty about having like too much privilege, and then other times I'm like, God, I have not. It's like I've been kind of fucked over in my life on a lot of little levels, and like people things could have gotten a lot better. It's like you can totally look at things both ways or all different ways.
are you feeling manic?
No, I mean, if anything, I feel lately like I'm can be depressed. I sometimes feel depressed about feeling like
We don't want no Michael. There's no Michael Stone depressed here.
I know that's
There's no
unacceptable, right?
Michael Stone depressed in baseball.
Because
There's no
I'm such
Michael Stone
a positive
depressed.
person.
Michael Stone don't we don't get depressed with Michael Stone.
Yeah, so I feel exactly we don't get depressed with Michael Stone, and I feel like that
That's
we need to
not
keep that
the
narrative
boy we
going
signed
because
on for.
like I feel like if people think that Michael Stone is depressed, then it's like, oh my God, you can't count on anyone anymore.
He
Like
can't be happy. Then how can I?
Michael Stone can't be happy. He's got everything going for him. That guy. God damn it.
Jesus
There's no
Christ.
hope for any of us.
He's friends with Kanye.
Exactly. And he won't give me his shoes though.
What
Keep
do
asking him.
what do you think about the Trump shoes?
Yeah, he's like, no, these are for me.
You see those Trump shoes?
Oh yeah,
What do
the
you think about
$8,000. What are
that?
they? Gold?
Could you imagine being such a douchebag? This guy, I grew up in flea markets where they would have like I grew up in a flea market, by the way.
You
That's
did?
there's my bio right there. Brett Woods,
Grew up in a flea market.
that is my tungsten. That's and
Tungsten Labs.
there was like I would go to the where they do the where they auction off stuff.
Yeah.
The guys with the voices,
Yeah, the auction.
auctioneer.
Auctioneer.
Have you ever been to an
25.
auctioneer? Have you ever seen an auctioneer? And
I went to a rodeo once back in Illinois. I don't remember them having an auctioneer though. I've seen it on TV, I guess.
woo. Anyways, I forget the point, but like suddenly rattling off that whole like childhood thing.
Yeah,
I
you
guess
said
part of childhood.
you grew up in in a flea market. Oh,
No,
you're talking about Trump's gold shoes. You're
oh
talking about
yeah,
Trump's
yeah.
gold shoes.
So like, what do you think about those? Because it's like an auctioneer.
I mean, they're terrible.
But
But you know,
at the same, I guess that brings this full point to that point. But he is like that auctioneer at a fucking flea market.
yeah, he's like a fast talk. He's like a snake oil peddler.
Exactly. God damn it! I
He's
was
a grifter.
long walk to
Yeah.
get that. That was a long walk.
He's a snake oil peddler. Yeah, he's like, oh, come on, this will get you.
Fuck!
He's selling his baseball cards of himself. It's insane. Bail me out.
What the fuck is happening
And
here?
people are buying that shit, so he must still have these supporters. I don't know. You know what's weird? One guy online who bought the shoes, then they're like, "Oh, he's a Russian." This guy actually, he's a Russian CEO or he's a Russian oligarch or
The
whatever.
Biden thing?
Well, this one guy who just famously bought some Trump shoes and they took his picture, and then they're like, "Oh, this guy's he's a Russian operative." But it turns out the guy really is Russian, but he's actually like an American citizen. He like came over when he was a kid 20 years ago. He's like, I'm a sneakerhead. I love sneakers. I think Trump's a badass.
When did sneakerhead get into the zeitgeist of fucking reality?
Yeah, that's a
That
good
was like a
question.
2 day.
To me, it came into my lexicon like 10 years ago, I think.
Really?
Like
I
in
just
San
heard about it like
Diego.
3 days ago. It's like, what the fuck's did you
Yeah,
get?
I feel like it's pretty new for me too as like a concept, but it is like a thing. I get yeah.
Now it is apparently now that it's got
It
like
might be the first time I've even said it out loud. Like I've heard the term before, but yeah, I'm not someone that you. So it might be really fresh into the general lingo that someone's a sneakerhead. Anyway, this guy claims to just be a sneakerhead who likes Trump, but he's not some kind of Russian operative. Like I actually ended up following the guy on Twitter because he seems like maybe he's just. I don't think he's totally normal. I think he's like a little bit of an online grifter type person or like a wheeler
really.
dealer.
Do those kind of people exist?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think there's all levels. I think there's legitimate business people. There's like, even just take doctors. I think there's like really amazing doctors who all they want to do is help people and fix
Did you
people's
see
wounds.
that thing? Do you know about this guy that does the well, I okay, so my
Is
men,
it like a plastic surgeon with a sketchy side business or something? No, what is it?
it's the guy, Dr. Gary. You know Dr. Gary?
His name is Dr. Gary.
Yeah. He
That
is,
rings a bell.
he does these podcasts where he's a facial surgeon and hair
Okay,
right, and he goes down the it's a wormhole because
I gotta check it out. Dr. Gary.
I'm already skeptical like just because I'm like entering into a whole different world with this conversation, but like
What's your world like right now?
no, I went down this rabbit hole like 2 weeks ago. I got over it. But like it's Dr. Gary does these things like what hip people have had done.
Okay, right.
So
Like lip
he goes through
injections.
McConaughey. He goes through.
Oh, he works with the big celebrities and
Well, he's a
he's revealing what work
professional
they've
Dr.
had done.
Gary. He goes through what they've had done. Madonna. That's a deep dive.
That's a deep dive into what she's had
But
done.
he goes through the timeline. He he's like that's a whole wormhole.
Yeah, it's
But,
definitely
no,
interesting stuff.
and, but it's like what McConaughey had, what he didn't have, what people thought he had. He's like, no, this is what he fucking did.
Oh.
And yeah, but I feel it's a wormhole, and those people,
Yeah.
There's big Dr. Gary heads out there. So
Oh, there's such Dr. Gary heads. And
yeah,
then everyone has their own doctor that they swear by. My friend has one who's like he's like the anti-gluten guru. He's like, "Oh, Doctor, I can't think of his name now, not Dr. Phil. Dr. Tom. His name is Dr. Tom. You can look up Dr. Tom. He's also out there. He'll tell you not to eat gluten. Um, but anyway, my point about the doctors was that there's really, really good, well-meaning doctors, and then there's like sketchy doctors who are just like in it for the money. You know, maybe a plastic surgeon who's blah blah blah. Or you even hear about these dentists who are like doing fucked up shit. They're like giving people the wrong medicine on purpose. Like people that would get convicted of in a malpractice suit. Like the reason there is such a thing as malpractice law is because there is malpractice. Like there are snake oiler peddlers out there who become doctors and lawyers and politicians.
yeah, there's a lot of grifting
Yeah,
going on.
and there's a lot of I think more
So,
people
but
most people
I
are
have to
more
interject
good than bad.
real quick. But with that mentality, with the that knowing that you're going to that field with about you're going in, there's grifters, you're sensitive
Yeah.
to that, going into that, knowing that, sensitive to that, um, does that change the way you do the things you do?
Yeah, just I mean, I think you have to be a little bit aware that there might be out there people who are trying to hurt you. It has happened. I've actually met a couple of I think pathological liars in my life.
What?
Um,
Are you
yeah,
serious? You
and
met
it's like it came out like little by usually the formula is this. Somebody that I actually consider a friend and like don't really have a strong opinion about them. They seem like a an interesting, almost larger than life character. And then somebody says something like, "Have you noticed that so and so like says a lot of bullshit?" And then I was like, not really, but I guess now that you mention it, he has said a couple of interesting, weird things. And then something comes out eventually later where you're like, "Oh, holy shit! Like that guy was lying about all that shit. Like he doesn't even work where he said he worked. Um, he's trying to get with your ex, and he's like doing like all this stuff comes out, and then you're like, wow, that guy is really a pathological liar. And I've met
what
a few
happened
of
recently?
what's that?
That is that like a story? How do you figure that story out? Like, was that something that happened to you a long time ago?
Okay, so this one particular guy, this is back when I lived in Italy, and he went by the name
Was that?
Scooby. I guess I'm outing this guy right now. Real
What,
Scooby,
what,
if you're
what was that?
listening,
What year was that?
it's like 15 years ago. So I was in my late 20s or something. I was in a relationship for most of my 20s, and then we ended up splitting up like right around the time I turned 30. But I was with this woman for most of my 20s, and I lived in Italy, and she was Italian. That's why I was there. And then after we broke up, and it's like well, you're in that post breakup time. You're not sure. You're like, okay, that was a long relationship. You're not trying to jump into other relationships. Maybe you're thinking you're even going to get back to like maybe this was just a fight that we're in. You're not even sure if it's the final breakup or not, or maybe they don't feel that way. It's just like a recent breakup, and then this guy, real Scooby, he was in my friend group. He would come do like events and parties that I was hosting or going to or whatever. Um, he he had a really weird accent. He said that he was an American from Philadelphia. He was a black guy, and he looked like if you look at him, you might say like, oh, he's like black from Africa, black, just like very black guy. And then, but he's like, oh, I grew up in Philadelphia, and I'm like, oh, cool, and like, I don't know, it's like this guy seems cool. He always wear kind of like, oh, hip hop clothing or something, I guess you could say, and he had a shirt that said "Real Scooby" on it. He would sometimes wear like a do-rag and stuff. He was just kind of seemed like a cool guy, but like had this weird accent. He didn't sound like someone from Philadelphia, just kind of like a something different about the accent. So then somebody was just like, "Do you know Real Scooby didn't he's not actually American. He didn't grow up in like Philadelphia. He grew up in like Ghana." And I was like, "Oh." So he lied about that? And it's like, "Oh, I don't know." So and then somebody else was trying to say that like, "Yeah, you got to watch out, that guy lies about stuff." But I was trying to defend him. I was kind of like, maybe I think he maybe was from a military family or something, and like maybe his dad was stationed in different places. That's why he has the weird accent. Like I was always trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. And honestly, whether or not he ends up being American or not, I guess that's not even um I guess that's not even the point. Except that he was dating this woman that I knew. So it was like four friends, me, my girlfriend at the time, then her friend, and then her friend was dating Scooby. So there was like the four of us. We could have gone on a double date. In fact, the four of us would hang out sometimes at like events or whatever. And my ex was really good friends with this other woman, and they dated for like 2 years. But then around the time when we broke up, they also broke up. And then once they broke up, that girl told my ex-girlfriend, she was like, "Oh my God, Scooby became a different person after we broke up. He started lying about all this stuff. Also, he said he was gonna, he actually bought me a Mercedes while we were in the relationship, and then he took it away after we broke up. Like he said, he basically gifted it to me, but then he took it back. And then he said that he said that he works as an engineer for Bosch, but he's not an engineer for Bosch. He actually just works like on the assembly line in the factory or whatever. But he's obsessed with money and blah blah blah. Like so, she had all of these like little things that were different than the way that the guy had presented. But then there was this one night where so my ex and I had been broken up for like for a month or two, a couple of months at this time, and I think I had started seeing someone else just really casually, but I like wasn't trying to make a big I wasn't trying to rub in my ex's face that I was seeing someone new. But I also wasn't lying about it or anything. I just like didn't have any okay, so here, you need more background. My ex lived in the same building complex as I did. So like after we broke up, we had our separate apartments in this building complex. Like we could potentially bump into each other in the courtyard, but we never did, except for maybe one time. But then I ended up like seeing like a woman that lived down the couple blocks away, um, and then so I remember one night I was just gonna go to that woman's house, um, but Real Scooby was in town for the weekend. All right, here's where it gets interesting. Real Scooby like lived in another city outside of town. He would like come to Milan to hang out for the weekend and like party and stuff. And then so he's like, "Hey man, I usually stay at this really fancy 5-star hotel downtown, but I'm just trying to save some money this trip. Like, do you mind if I stay at your place?" And I was like, "Sure, man. Yeah, don't spend like 500 euros on that hotel. Like, just come." And he even took me to that hotel, like to the bar. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna show you the fancy, like the most expensive drink in the bar." He was always like showing off his bling or whatever. And he ordered us like the $50 cocktail that has like gold particles or whatever. But then he was like, "Okay, but this time I can't stay at the fancy place. Like, can I just crash at your place?" I'm like, "Yeah, cool, man." So I let him stay at my place, and then I was like, "I'm actually gonna go. Like, you can just stay at my place. I'm actually gonna go crash at this lady that I'm seeing's place, and then I'll see you at breakfast." Sometimes you have a friend come over and like you let him crash, but then you end up like staying at your girlfriend's house. It's a thing that can happen. So
Well, in my youth, I had that happen.
okay, yeah, this is in my youth as well. So, or I'm in my 20s, I guess. I
My
don't know.
God,
Maybe I
why I
was
say that? Oh my God!
I was a single person. I don't know. There's
Myself,
nothing. There's nothing even that significant
oh
about.
my God! Did I just do that to myself?
Oh my God! I'm dating a new person.
Oh my God!
Here's the weird thing,
I
though.
just had like a mental hiccup. Sorry.
So,
I,
but I'm letting
we
Scooby
can
stay in
cut
my
that.
apartment.
We should cut that.
I don't think there's anything to cut. There's nothing we can cut your
Oh
mental
yeah,
hiccup.
yeah. All right.
So Scooby, in the middle of the night, somehow he had my ex girlfriend's phone number, and so he started texting her. He's like, "Hey, Mikey's not here. He went over to uh, Sky's house, like the name of the other woman." And so, and she was like, "Why are you telling me this?" And he's just like, "Well, I just thought maybe you should know. It might be like time. Maybe it's time for you to move on because like Mikey's moving on." I think that's what he was trying to say. Um, so, by the way, this is a guy that's like a friend of mine that I'm like letting him stay at my apartment, which is in the same apartment
Yeah.
complex as where
Now
my
you're
ex. And
now
then he
you
hits
put
up
yourself in a position of
he hits up my ex in the middle of the night with texting, basically trying to see if like he can get to go over to her place or whatever, or get him to come over. Like he was, which I guess in some weird way, I guess like you gotta respect that game because it's like, well, I didn't have any claim to her anymore. She's my ex. I'm with
well,
someone new.
that's always a sting, though.
Yeah, no, I mean, on the other
I had
hand,
a
I think
girlfriend go out with one of my friends. I know what that feels like.
I felt like it was super inappropriate, but also literally the fact that I'd said like you can stay at my apartment, and this is like before I knew this thing about like him having this lying thing. So this is why it all came out is because the next day, like my ex, she was like she's like I need to talk to you, and she's like Scooby started texting me at night. He was saying all this shit and blah blah blah, and like, is it true that you're seeing? And I'm like, yeah, I am seeing someone else. Only just started seeing her. Um, but like I don't and some of the other details were like weird. So he was just basically he started making up stories about me to her. Like he literally started saying Michael was cheating on you. Michael was already seeing this other woman while you two were still together. And that's absolutely not true. I didn't even meet her until like 2 or 3 months after we had broken up. It's a completely clean timeline, but he just basically like started putting all these ideas in her head that I had like cheated on her, blah 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 blah. Oh my God,
How
what
old
if
were you? How old was this?
had just turned 30. This was like
That's
13 years ago.
That's like that's what happens at 30.
Yeah. So anyway, I wonder if I wrote it down in my journal or any, because like I'm trying to remember some of the details that came out, but it ended up that my ex felt threatened, like she felt unsafe around this person, and then that's when she started telling me, she's like, by the way, I was talking to such and such, my friend who used to be dating Scooby. She has all these stories about how he's like a liar and unpredictable, and like I don't trust anything he's saying now, and like I don't think you should let him stay in. I like definitely don't want him to stay in this building complex anymore. Like I hope that you don't let him stay with you. And I'm like, no, that guy's definitely not going to stay with me again. So I confronted him. I confronted him about a lot of this stuff, and he totally like played this weird mental gymnastics game where he's like, no, 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 it's like a misunderstanding. No, no, no. What she's really saying is, and he kept like, he had an answer for everything, man. It's like no matter how much you would confront him with his lies, he could find a workaround and be like, no, but I think what she meant was.
Oh yeah,
And so like I've seen it. Like it's definitely
you're
a
dealing with
personality
you're dealing
type
with
or
you're dealing with a number one cocksmith there.
a cocksmith.
Yeah,
He was definitely a cocksmith, but he was also a pathological liar.
that's
You
what
can be both, I guess.
that's what a cocksmith is.
Hmm. Opens all locks with his lies.
Oh yeah, oh, dude, have you ever been cockblocked before?
I probably have committed cockblock.
Have
In,
you? Are you? Oh no, wait, what?
Not intentionally.
Wait, you
Isn't cockblock when you kind of like
have you
prevent your
cock
friend from?
getting laid?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I have unintentionally cockblocked by like saying the wrong things or whatever. But
Why did
I'm
you do it? Why did you do it?
No, not. I don't think I've ever cock blocked like
You just said you
purposefully.
cock blocked. Okay, so I got.
Yeah, no, I'm remembering a time when I
Like,
think I like made some.
This is a super sensitive topic on Breath with Friends. This is
Yes. Okay. No, it
cock
sounds
blocking
like
is a very big deal.
it's a very big deal. Is it a no? No? Am I going to get kicked off Brett
Probably
with friends?
like a lot of people that have watched this podcast have been cock blocked. So if you're the cock blocker,
I think most people
why
have.
you do what you do, why you do the thing you do.
I mean, okay, good question. So to some degree, cock blockery is just competition, right? I'm sure like the people who are doing it, I'm like, hey man, I'm the player, blah blah blah. Don't hit the player, hit the game. Sometimes it could just be. I feel like I've Larry David style inadvertently cock blocked, but like a friend of mine was like, he's like, I got it in the bag over here, whatever. We're going, and like I somehow then I insulted her inadvertently like making a joke that she reacted badly, and then she's like, you know what, let's go. And then she left, and my friend's like, what the fuck are you doing, man? Why did you say that? I'm like, no, I was just joking. I was just joking. And then next thing you know, that friend is upset with me because he thinks I cock blocked, which I guess I did. But I consider that inadvertent cock blocking. I want my friends to get laid.
That's a deep dive.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to obviously look at all the individual.
I've
I feel like I've
been,
been cock blocked many times.
it's a tough, it's a tough, those are very vulnerable moments, man. It's a very, people don't talk about that enough, the cock blocking.
Well, if you think maybe
I think it's a
it's like a
very,
friend,
it's like,
friend
it's
who
like, you
swooped in and got the
know what
girl.
it is? Do you know what it is? It's like Ukraine and Russia.
Say
It's
more.
a bit of a lot of cock blocking right now.
Elaborate.
Well, Russia's cock blocking Ukraine.
It's true, but they're also trying to fuck it.
Well, that's what cock blocking is.
Well, in a certain sense.
Well, you are a cock blocker, so
Here the cock is trying to get
so
over
so
here.
we're coming
The
from
cock
people
block
who
comes in between it. Cock block's like a wall, right? It's preventing the cock. So, fucking someone is inherently the opposite of cock blocking, right? But linguistically, fucking someone could be like fucking them over.
Israel's not cock blocking Gaza.
Well, they're cock blockading them.
Something's happening. That's close enough to mean something.
Cock blocking is not my first choice of the term I would use for that situation, but I suppose if you wanted to use it, you could make a case for it.
But you're the well. Okay, let's get back.
Israel's definitely not helping Gaza get laid right now. It's definitely ruining Gaza's game. It's like spilling his drink all over Gaza's clothes right now. It's like, psh,
It's like
it's like pulling down Gaza's pants in front of
you want to
everyone.
get out of the room. You're like, okay, this chick is fucking piss drunk. She needs to go. Who's taking her home?
That sounds like the opposite of cock blocking. Unless you're the
Been
one
at
who's
a party like it's been a while. Like I remember like those parties I used to be like in Santa Monica back in my youths.
I
Uh,
feel like I never got invited to the
like
good Santa Monica parties,
oh my god, like we went to
except for the one where I met my girlfriend.
oh how's Alex?
Aw.
Alex, right?
Yeah, Alex. We met at a
Oh
party in
shit,
Santa Monica,
oh shit.
but it was how is she? She's good.
I
It's her
love Alex.
birthday. It's her birthday tomorrow.
Can we sing happy birthday to her right now?
Yeah,
Will she ever watch this?
yeah. She might be the only person who does.
Perfect. So what we begin? Should we do like a you get a keyboard in front of you? Do you want to do a keyboard?
I don't know.
All right, you start off. I'll do backup. Because you have the better voice.
We can't even. I don't think Zoom can even hear both of our voices at the same time. Let's just go for it.
Like you can do
Happy
birthday
birthday
to
to you.
you. Happy
Happy birthday
birthday
to
to
you. Is
you.
it to you or dear you? Dear
Hear
to you.
you. To you.
Happy
Happy birthday,
birthday, dear
dear Alex.
Alex. Happy birthday to
You.
you.
All right. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah, Alex is great. I'm so
Alex is great.
Alex is great. She's wonderful. What's she working on these days?
She's working on teaching, educating the young people in the world, and um, let's see. Do we have an idea for a project together? We we have some ideas for things, but her main gig is teaching. She's a professor.
Do you think you'll ever do like a? I know we kind of touched about this like every time I because I'm having flashbacks. So like, do you think you would ever do another podcast? Like, do you think you're ever subscribing to that idea? Because I saw
Oh,
your
like start my own podcast?
yeah, we talked about it a little bit.
Yeah, dude, I want to do that. You've inspired me.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I've been some people have told me over the years you should do podcasts, and I was like, "Oh, you think so?" But no, I like talking and commentating. I think it would be good. Um
Do you think you'll do it?
I'm not quite sure what my angle would be or whatever. So
It's so
I'm still
funny.
trying to figure out what my angle is.
Well, there's no angle.
Yeah, I guess just talking to people, interviewing.
Well, the thing is,
There's usually like a with friends. This is pretty free form. This is pretty free form. It's like we can talk about whatever we want, right? Which is good.
I like that. I actually think we might be approaching on the longest podcast I've ever had. So
I know. I think it's been at least 2 hours and 14 minutes.
I might
And I
be
think it's
more.
been longer than
I
that.
think it might be like 5 hours. Uh,
Damn.
but like we'll do it. I like breaking boundaries and seeing what I like the sort of free form approach. There's no I always like the way that they're it's a time capsule, you know, it's like a free form
Yeah.
like almost
Yeah.
like
What?
VHS.
Yeah. There's just this little
Yeah,
VHS of us floating. This is what we were like at this point in
yeah, I like that
2024.
because we're going through such because media is changing so far. If I had this stuff when we were like in like the what 1995s,
Oh yeah. Yeah. I feel like if I had YouTube back when I was
oh,
like,
what would that look like?
I know. God, who
What would that
knows?
look like?
But I
That,
sort of know because we had a video camera. My friend had a video camera when we were in high school. We used to make stupid little movies, but they would never see the light of day. But nowadays, we would just be putting that shit straight to YouTube. Exactly.
I'm actually I'm
People would be
probably
puking as
glad
they.
because I when we made movies when I was younger, it was very like set and very everybody knew what they were doing. But if I was the back, if the B roll of that, if like the A side of that album or the B side of that album of the stuff that really happened, and I was have caught that, I probably might be in trouble.
Yeah, maybe that could be
Like
true for a lot of us.
because
What's that
I've
saying?
documented everything, and like I'm a very visual person, and but like it's like if the I mean that would change. It's like I was offered mushrooms when I was like 16 years old, and I was like such a prude. And I was like,
I was
oh,
like, no.
and I drove them to get the mushrooms. I drove them in my car to get the mushrooms. And I was like, no, mushrooms, I'm a mushroom. But
Yeah.
like now I just got a tattoo of mushrooms. I mean, but
You've come a long way on your journey.
well, things happen when they happen, you know, like
Yeah.
you experience.
I'm the same. Someone offered me like drugs when I remember like literally it was like a scene from a TV show. Like the long-haired older high school kid came over. He's like, "Hey, you guys want some drugs?" And my friends and I were like, "Run away!" And we were just like, "Get out of here!" And we like went and told our
Get
parents.
out of here.
But that's probably we're in like fifth grade or something. But also when I was in high school, like yeah, my friends were totally like experimenting with all the drugs, and I didn't have anything to do with any of that in high school. I didn't really drink until maybe senior year. Started drinking a little bit. Um, like drink to
Yeah,
get drunk if there's someone has alcohol.
you're still coming out of
Shell.
the
The
construct of like what your parents are giving you.
Yeah, that's right. And of course it makes sense. I mean, I think most parents don't want their kids to experiment too much with drugs, especially when they're, not fully formed adults yet.
Well,
Um,
but there's people creating their ideals of reality for their children than the ones they grew up with. You know, like
yeah, that's true.
your parents grew up in a whole another world than the one that this is their interpretation of what they would have hoped for their child. For
Yeah,
their,
it's true. It's totally different, especially with like the way that technology has changed everything. I feel like it might be getting really hard for older parents to connect with their like what their children are going through or whatever. But that's all like always every generation like struggles to relate to their parents and vice versa. But
but it doesn't seem like it's any more cyber. I mean, look at like what we're doing right now. It's
I know. Look at what we're doing
this
right
is
now.
like
Look
very
what we're
like
doing.
oh, we're doing.
Look what we're doing. Oh my god. We're on
Like,
drugs
but like,
and video.
but
On
like
Michael Stone on drugs and on video.
podcast. But like, but like, I think it like
Michael Stone on drugs. Like on the subject of drugs.
you're on drugs right now, right?
Not really.
What'd you do?
I might have like microdosed.
Oh, you
Uh,
did two mushrooms?
I might have microdosed on LSD.
Oh,
Um,
nice. Tonight you've been on LSD the whole time. You should have told me because I would have dropped some mushrooms.
well, we'll have to coordinate better next time. No, but
What?
no. It's like such a small amount. By the way, I might have not done this. I might just be trying to sound cool, like, oh, yeah, I did drugs. Yeah,
Maybe
I'm
you
so
did
cool.
yours
I'm
all.
so cool.
You're
But
so
no, but anyway, it is a thing where you could take you could take like you could take like a quarter a tab or less. I mean, that's probably not microdosing. How small do you have to be to microdose?
how small?
How small do you have to be to have a micropenis?
Well, there's a lot of different. Not me. That's for sure.
Not me.
Not me. That's for sure.
I got a lot of problems, but
Whatever
that's
the
not one of
answer
them.
to that is not me. um. So you microdose them to some LSD? I wish I took
But
some mushrooms or some ecstasy or something.
next time we should just be like we should just do drugs and then get really crazy.
Well,
That's a great idea. But
there's
I would say I mostly just been sober. I would categorize myself as
oh,
just
did it just kick in just now?
no, it never I mean I never really felt anything, to be honest. It's not like there was a thing. It was like just
What was
a background. Almost like you know how they sell that mushroom coffee, like rye, like it's like blah blah blah
the G
mushrooms.
thing or something?
Yeah, it's like substitute coffee with
Yeah,
this
mushrooms.
lion's mane and what are all those?
Yeah, I haven't gotten that yet. I haven't
So like
you know about it.
it's like that level. It's not like I'm a psychedelic journey right now or anything.
No, you get a little tinge.
A little tinge, yeah. Just
Not
like
the
how
most-
you're smoking your cigarettes over there or whatever, you know. It's like I
your
am.
jazz cigarettes there.
Yeah, cigarette.
No,
I might
I would have definitely. I'm down with the mushrooms. Like I saw that Godzilla -1 on mushrooms.
apparently that's the way to do it.
Wow, that was a perfect scenario.
Storm.
You couldn't get too. It's like peanut butter and chocolate. It was
They go
like
together so well.
it was such a like it checked so many different boxes. It like was what you wanted. It was like how could you like okay if we think about Godzilla, it like how of a weird like dorky looking thing is that? It's like got a big nostril. It's like
Oh,
great.
literally
It's got big fat legs. It's like it looks like a fucking it's like totally what is it? It's not like
yeah, it's like something a
it's
child
like
would have like made up. Like it's basically just an iguana that's like really
it's a
big.
solid toy, you know?
Well,
So
when we were kids, we had the Godzilla toy, my friend Billy and I, and we like used it in all of our little movies. Like we were like, ah,
oh,
Godzilla.
Godzilla. Well,
So Godzilla plays a large part in my cinematographic
yeah,
upbringing.
it's but they made a really good fucking movie of it. It's like it's like the the child in you wanted to see.
Okay. Well, I will watch
And
Godzilla plus one.
but it's
And
gonna lose everything on the small screen. I know it will, but the story but also I encapsulate that with this. The story is so strong that it'll hopefully supersede that.
I'll find someone who I can go to their house. They have like a big TV with surround sound and stuff.
Get some mushrooms,
And
eat
get some mushrooms.
oh
This is a great idea.
with surround sound.
And you should watch the movie The Society of the Snow. It doesn't matter if you watch it on a small screen. It will still compel you.
Okay.
I'll send you the link to it later.
Can I do one thing before? Because let's wrap it up soon. But like,
Yeah, let's wrap it up. I gotta eat some food.
should we wrap it up
These
now?
drugs are giving me the munchies.
Should I? Can I take a pee or should we leave it up?
Maybe we should wrap it up. But what
Okay.
were we gonna say?
I was just gonna say, I think I should take a quick pee. And
Okay.
I want to talk about just a little because I really do want to know more about
I
the.
know, but we might just have to do a whole nother.
We just do like 5 minutes of like
Sure, yeah, I can do 5 more minutes. I'll go get
cut
some
out for
something to
one
drink.
second.
Yeah,
Just 1 second. Just I'll be right back.
to be continued.
All right. All right. All right. Do we hit the? Oh, we're still going. We're still doing it.
We're still doing it. Yeah,
You
you
know,
said you wanted. You said you wanted to talk for 5 more minutes.
yes, I'm down. I'm down. I'm good. We're all good.
We're
Ah,
all good.
that was refreshing.
Good.
Feel
Once you
good,
break that, once you
man.
break that seal,
Oh my God. Woo! I do. You know what's fun about Oregon is that I can pee outside.
you know what's funny about what you just said is that at first, when you said Oregon, it sounded like organ, like a piano and organ, or like an organ of your body, or
Huh?
but like your penis could be an organ.
My
So it's like, you know what's funny about organ? I can pee outside. So your penis can pee outside. There's something there. There's something there. We're gonna work on that one.
it's
There's some
could be in like a new Taylor Swift album cover.
called organ outside.
Yeah, she can do it. She can do anything.
Yeah.
I
So
believe.
what?
Are you a Swiftie?
Um, I think she's
You can
pretty
say it.
talented.
Don't deny it. Don't deny it.
I wouldn't consider myself a Swiftie, but I think she's a fascinating performer. I saw her show. I saw her live.
So you're a Swiftie.
Well, I was offered a ticket to go, so I went.
Yeah.
And it was the show in LA at SoFi Stadium where she got a 8 minute standing ovation. Sort of for no particular reason. Just like the crowd
The
started,
fact that she's Taylor Swift,
yeah, the crowd just started like cheering for her. I mean, it was so loud. It was like 60,000
it's like mock
teenage girls
here. Like it's
and
like
me.
thunderclap.
Yeah, it was thunderclap. No, but and it was 8 minutes, and you can see her. She's on the big screen, like larger than life. She's like she's like soaking it all up. And it went on, and it was. I have a lot of this recorded. I think I happened to be recording. It was in the news. It was like
You're doing
Taylor
live
Swift.
stream.
Taylor Swift gets 8 minute standing ovation at Eras tour show.
Definitely.
I was there in the crowd with all those teenage girls, and I was like,
Wow.
"Holy shit! This person is." She's idolized by these young people.
Oh, she's analyzed by not just young girls.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, people. I
Like
mean, a lot of people love her. I think a lot of her songs are cool, and the lyrics are clever, and
she's a dynamo.
she's a dynamo. She's an amazing performer.
She's the Marilyn Monroe of our times.
Yeah, she's kind of a sex symbol as well. She's tall and powerful. She's like a symbol of power, I feel, on one level, among other things. I
Yeah.
think if she wanted to run for president, she could win.
Oh, dude, she would smash that shit, dude. The Swifties would
Yeah,
kill.
she has her own army.
The one thing that you don't underestimate
2028, baby.
is
She's
this,
too young. She's only 33, I think now.
she's not old enough to become president yet.
Yeah, you got to be 35, right? And
But
born in America. Sorry, Elon Musk.
I would. That is the drama, like in. Oh, cats are fighting. Um, I know. I got these cats, and I'll put a picture of them on right now. They've adopted me, but one of
Hmm.
them's pregnant.
They dragged you in? Oh, one of them's pregnant?
Yeah,
Oh,
I know
that
that,
kind of cat, eh?
but I spend most of my time in the garage here. But yeah, there's a whole like ecosystem of in the neighborhood when the lights are out and it's night outside in a forest town. The biosphere of like activity of like animals
Hmm.
kind of happen around these things.
Yeah.
yeah, there's a whole like it's
A
like
whole nocturnal ecosystem around you.
yeah, but yeah, I don't. Yeah, it's a funny place. Oregon's a funny place. So
Hmm.
how's Santa Monica doing? Are you okay with Santa Monica?
I'm doing okay. Yeah.
Like how's it looking with the homeless and all that shit? How's it looking?
I mean, that's a good question. Uh,
I mean, this is a broad
oh,
sweep. Kind of
overall, it feels like a problem that's getting worse in,
really? LA
well, just in LA in general. I feel like it seems like there's more homeless every day. I don't know if that's an accurate prediction or not. I mean, observation. I don't know statistically if it got worse during the pandemic. I think it got worse during the pandemic, the economically depressed and stuff.
Oh, for sure. But
Um,
that was also 4 years ago.
yeah, but
So,
I was just noticing this weekend I was driving around a couple I think I went downtown both like Saturday and Sunday. Actually, on Saturday I went to a pro Ukraine rally that was downtown in front of City Hall. And then went somewhere else on Sunday. I was like going around LA a lot, and I was just thinking, I was like, gosh, there's really a lot of homeless encampments all over the place, um, and it made me kind of sad, just because I was like, oh, people are struggling, and I don't know what to
can I
do.
ask you a quick question?
Yeah.
Like 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 where did you see that?
Well, some of it right close to home where I live, but also just like they tend to be
Like
under
Fourth and
like the
Santa Monica?
highway underpasses and stuff. There's like areas that tend to attract usually where you can, like because some areas the police are aggressive and they won't let you put up a tent, but areas where nobody will bother you, that's where you put up your tent or whatever. I guess I don't know. Um, Certainly, I don't even know how to generalize the area because it's like Skid Row downtown is like only a couple blocks away from areas with wealthy people living. Like
Well, can I ask you, have you been through like West what like Windward and Maine or a little Pacific? Like how's that
oh yeah,
where the the circle is?
oh near yeah. Oh yeah, over there. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of sketchiness over there. Of course, people told me that Venice was even sketchier, like in the '70s and stuff. Like it was actually.
Wow, you're breaking my heart right now. I
I
know.
know you hear. I don't know. I don't know. Like the gang, there was like gang violence and shit. I don't know if that's true.
Oh, give me flashbacks for a second. I know,
Yeah.
I went through Venice and like Windward, and I had a place on that brick building on like across from the dog park on Windward and Pacific.
Was it owned by Arnold Schwarzenegger? He owns a lot of property around here
No, but yeah,
on Maine.
I met him. I met him. He's a fun guy.
Yeah, he
Uh,
seems cool. Well, the weird thing about this area is that overall is all this like gentrification coming. People are like, oh, actually, this part they used to call it
that's
Dogtown.
been
It's
doing
like,
that for like 25 years now.
yeah, but so you get all this gentrification. A lot of people also use their properties as like vacation rentals, but
Yeah.
also then there's all this homelessness around the gentrification. Like it's like basically the extremes. I really feel like
Oh,
this is kind of a
California,
place.
Hotel California.
Just Electric Avenue, yeah, Hotel California. That's where we are.
Yeah,
Um, the
nobody lives in LA. If you stay in LA, the thing of it that's going to kill anybody that, and this is maybe an echo of like I'm sending out love vibes to the world right now. I'm
okay,
gonna
good. We need your
anybody
love vibes.
love vibes in the most positive way is that if you stay in LA for a certain amount of time, you do not want to do that. So
Like it'll
you
suck
have
my
to,
soul or something. It's gonna
you
suck my
have to,
soul dry.
you have to interlope. You have to figure out a way to come back and go back and forth. And then you'll figure out that you eventually will not go there at all.
I don't know.
Because the way people are producing things and the way your ideals of whatever you wanted to do have changed. Now anybody can do anything anywhere. You don't
Yeah,
have to
that's
be
true. No,
anywhere.
you're right. I mean, I don't have to be here to be like in film production. There's no reason you have to be in LA anymore. You can do it anywhere. But at the same time, it's kind of interesting to be in like the epicenter, like where the creative people go. But
No, it's a great
it,
place. Trust me, the weather is
there's
fucking
creative people everywhere.
amazing.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
there's the
I'm not
industry.
totally dissing on it at all. I mean, there's a
I
balance.
just don't.
There's a
I
balance.
don't even need a power plate. Like I think you can say what you want about almost any city, you know, in America. Like
I know my
that
friends.
you stay in
I've
this city
known
long
people
enough,
past
it'll
me
tear
for
you
talking
apart.
shit
Like
about LA. Trust me, I feel I can hear the tone in your voice. I love LA, and I know that people. I mean, I
I'm
just
not even. I'm a
it was
new.
eco or
I feel like I'm a tourist here too. I guess I've been here for 7 years, but I don't. I
I
don't
went
know.
through 30 years of that shit. Trust me.
I consider myself a Midwesterner
No, no,
who
you
lives in
the new
California.
region. You're the one that's gonna pave the way.
Yeah, I'm paving it right now, baby, for a quieter tomorrow. Making noise today for a quieter tomorrow.
Yeah, the longest Brett's with Friends podcast ever.
We're fighting entertainment at home to keep you safer here.
Yeah, this is
To
maybe
keep you
like the longshoreman that's like off the coast, like just like hours, like just listen to something just to occupy his brain space while he gets a fish.
Yeah, I got my AirPods Pro while I'm getting these fish. I'm listening to Audible. I'm listening to Audible
Brett's with
books.
Friends.
Like Moby Dick. I'm listening to Moby Dick on audiobook right now. That'd be so meta. It'd be so
That
appropriate.
would be that would be
Great
the
book, by the
best
way.
accolades ever.
I don't think I've really thrown my hat in the ring enough. I think I came here. I have like a I work. I have a remote job that I do that sort of
Dude,
has nothing to
you know
do
what I'm
with
doing?
like
Like, I'm pretty fucking stoned right now. I'm looking
yeah.
at your I'm looking at your shirt on my thing,
Is
and
it
like that,
sparkly?
you know what you know what it reminds me of? It's like
What?
you
Cookies
know
and cream?
no, I just sort of got wind of it just now because like apparently I'm
Granite?
old now. But like I said, your fish, I saw a glimpse of it earlier. But, like, it reminds me of like when octopuses changes colors.
Oh, okay. Like my shirt is doing that right now?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like you know when it like dilates and it like morphs into something different.
Octopuses are amazing that they can
Oh
do
my
that.
God, dude, don't even get me started on an octopus. Jesus.
They're like technologically, I heard something recently.
Technologically, they're like not even know this. This is like crazy. This is like what else is like an octopus?
No, nothing. No, because it's like so next level. There's some color changing animals and they do it hormonally. I just heard this like on NPR or something. And so it's like they emit a chemical into their bloodstream, which makes all of their skin change to a color or whatever. I think octopuses, they were saying,
It can change texture as well.
yeah, like each individual almost, it's like their whole
They
skin
they
is pixels.
they become it's like the cloak.
Yeah, like the cloaking cloak or whatever you call that, like the invisibility cloak.
Yeah, yeah. It's like,
It's amazing. So yeah, my shirt's doing that for me.
can you do
Soon,
that? Can you do
soon
that? You can't do
I will
that.
totally disappear. You won't see
Dude,
what's
would that
behind
be
me.
amazing to be able to have that?
If I
Oh,
just had an invisibility cloak. Actually, if, with a green screen, you could do it. You could achieve that effect. Just had a green sheet.
holy shit. Dude, what if the future looks like that? What if the future, like, if they say, okay, check this out. You could be like an octopus.
But
Does
you're
it
full of ink.
just erase into the side of a building?
That would be a pretty cool skill.
But you would have to give up your soul.
Mm, small price to pay.
Take my soul.
Yeah, would you give up your soul for a superpower? I mean, I don't know. You get into some weird philosophical questions. What does it mean to give up your soul? Can you not get into heaven?
I'll take it.
Is it like giving up on your humanity, your conscience? Did
Humanity?
Donald Trump sell his soul for a pocket full of mumbles? For a
Well, it's
pocket.
the thing about the Trump thing is that he's hiding them so blatantly with this crazy Christian thing that it's like
Yeah, so blatantly.
it makes Christians look stupid. And I know
Hmm.
Chris, you know, trust me, I grew up Christian. I was supposed to be Christian, but like it's like I never. Anyways, I don't adhere to any religion or philosophy or whatever.
Ideology.
I'm a naturalist, dude. Man, I'm
You're
like,
a, you're just
what?
you're a Brett.
I'm
You're a woodsian.
a
You're a woodsman.
but
You're a woodsman.
I'm a woodsman. But like, but this bullshit behind this Christian stuff, it just makes the U.S. look stupid. Like,
Yeah, they say
it's
fascism
like
when it comes.
this is like Dukes of Hazard bullshit. This is like, where are we at? I mean, as a, are we maybe or maybe we might be in a gumbo state, and I
We
don't
might be in a gumbo state.
gumbo. I never ever
Shrimp
used that
gumbo.
term. I I never ever said that out loud in a podcast with Michael Stone, but
But you're
I
saying it now.
might be in a gumbo state. What how thoughts? You now?
Here's what I have to say about the fact that we might be in a gumbo state. Here's my stoner observation. Because of your painting behind you, with I think it might be a ship or it might be a lot of people or something, but it makes you look like Bullwinkle because it basically looks like you have
Oh, that's high praise. That's high praise, my friend.
yeah you have like your antlers there, or it could be a crazy Donald Trump red haircut that you got like a
No,
bozo
no, no, Trump. No,
bozo.
we have to bleep that. We have to cut that.
Yeah, you're wearing a big bozo headdress right now,
Oh, nice. I like
or
that.
you look like Bullwinkle.
Oh, that's high praise. I'll take it.
High praise.
That's very high praise.
High praise would be a good name for a show actually, where both people get high and they praise each other.
Well, if you're the next up, you got to start your own podcast. I mean,
Maybe I'll call it high praise.
that'd be great.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah, motherfucker. You know,
Hallelujah.
if you do it, like I am very proud to actually say this, but there's a few people that I've had on my podcast that have actually started podcasts.
Really? I could be one of them.
I
We
mean,
could be, you could be our mentor.
I
It would
don't,
be like,
I don't think so. I
you
would
could be our
in
ideological
a Paul
father.
Lorenzo would never. I would never want to be near.
Brett, you are
I
our
would never.
ideological father.
No,
You
no, no,
started me.
no, no.
Well,
You'll
a mentor is just like someone who inspires someone else to do something.
no,
I mean,
you'll be.
maybe they were going to do it anyway. Maybe they didn't. But
I think
anyway,
you're.
it's
I think you're gonna do it anyways, for sure. Because like if you can, have a perspective on something, then I mean,
you got yourself a stew going.
well, it's not like for I don't
Is
know.
this high praise? Is this high praise?
No, it's like free form. It's like
Yeah, very
like
freeform.
experimental photography. You
It's
know,
true.
like Rick.
Yeah, we're figuring shit out.
Well, there. If you don't have a goal for it,
Hmm.
then you don't have like.
Don't have a goal? But I feel like you need a goal. I feel like you always have to have a
Oh
goal.
no,
That's
no,
what people always say.
that's where you feel scared. That's where
Even
you
if you change it.
no don't feel scared. You're okay. You'll be all right.
Thank you.
You'll be all right. That's what
Yeah.
but that's what you want to feel in acting or something. You want to feel like that gray area where you don't know what's gonna happen. But
That's true. That
actually,
is what you want.
but the thing with the podcast is that there's no high bar. There's no bar at all.
There's no low bar either.
There's no
Yeah.
low bar. There is no bar.
Yeah, literally
Like
anything can
there's
be a
literally
podcast.
literally zero bar.
So failure is your only option.
There is no failure. There's no bar. There's no failure. There's no failure to get to.
I love that. I actually wrote down, it says right there, um, if you don't fail,
No failure to get to.
you fool me once, can't fool me twice.
There's no failure because there's nothing to get to.
If you're not failing, you're not even trying.
Yeah, you already failed if you're here.
Let me see what it says. I gotta look closely. If you don't fail, you're not even trying. That's what it says.
You can throw
If
that
you don't fail, you're not even trying. I literally have it written on my furniture.
Yeah,
I
I
gotta
think
start living by that.
throw that out the window. Yeah, for sure. That's
We
what.
should ask ourselves, what have you failed at today? And if the answer is nothing, then you gotta try harder.
What would you like to fail at?
Hmm. Yeah, what I would like to fail at, I guess I would like to fail to be entertaining.
It's high art.
Hmm. High art, man.
Yeah, dude. Um,
I would like to fail to be considered intelligent. I would like to fail to be considered lovable. Worthy of I'd like to fail to consider to be worthy of love.
so what do you think is gonna happen with this Russia-Ukraine thing, man? We gotta wrap it. I mean, I actually, we haven't even, we've been
I think
hot.
we're gonna pass the supplemental spending bill. We're gonna get them their $60 billion worth of much needed ammunition, and they're gonna fight back those damn Russians. And we're gonna help them even more. Do we need a final thought?
What would you like to think about? It's
I think Ukraine is gonna be victorious. I think they're gonna win.
absolutely, they have got. What are you
They
talking
have to
about? It's
win.
they have got to win. What do you fuck? There is no,
Yeah.
there is no other
If we let Ukraine lose, it's the biggest failure of
on the world.
everything. It's a global failure. The
What the
whole world
fuck?
has failed. Like at least the democratic world has
Ridiculous.
failed. It's like our whole philosophy fails
It's like,
because
okay, so nothing matters anymore.
sort of, yeah, it's like autocracy. The United Nations doesn't matter. It's like, oh, there's no another country can just invade and get away with it. China is going to invade Taiwan then, and that'll be another bloody war, and they're gonna eventually take them over. But
Taiwan,
we're not
China.
gonna. Yeah, Taiwan. They make all the computer chips in Taiwan, Taipei.
Well, we have
Uh,
a lot going on over here in the U.S. As far as like that sort of stuff, right?
yeah, I think there's even an initiative to try to bring the chip manufacturing back to America as like a question of national security. Because if China gets their hands on Taiwan, then they'll basically own all of the like
They,
fabrication. I don't know. It's a it might be World War III right
no,
around the corner,
I don't.
baby.
Do you think it would ever like? Okay, let's talk taco.
I mean, it's possible that we'll look back on now and be like, these were the opening battles of World War III, like the Ukraine invasion of 2022. That might be considered the beginning of World War III, like when we look back on it.
But
But we don't know.
I know it is a very slippery slope.
There's all kinds of stuff happening too. I mean, there's people within our country who are trying to align us with Russia too. There's like Tucker Carlson, all those guys. And I hate to end on negativity or whatever. Um, Screw that guy. But I think we should wrap up though.
We should. I think we did it pretty hard. That
We
was
did it real hard. We
um.
cock blocked the shit out of this episode.
So I'll put an intro and outro. We didn't do it live, but like we wanted to do it in the first place. But I think we got some
We're
quality.
feeling out this art form.
Yeah, but it
Yeah,
works
maybe I
out.
can figure out the live.
Yeah,
Maybe
you.
I'll have you on my podcast.
Yeah, that's what I would love to do. That's actually it's up to you. The ball has been bounced. You know, it's like
Boing.
if you're a tech guy as well, so you should be able to figure this stuff out. I'm not a tech guy.
Yeah, I should be able to.
Yeah,
I mean,
you're. It's
if anyone can do it, I
there's
can.
also a StreamYard that stream,
Yeah, I was looking at StreamYard.
but like I didn't want to pay the 180 for the whole year. You know
Yeah,
that
I'll I'll do some
plus I don't
snooping around.
plus I don't have like $180 in my name, so I'm not gonna spend on an audience that I don't even know exists.
Hey, you can't spend money that you don't have. Well, I
I
guess you can with credit cards, but
well, do you have credit cards?
I have credit cards.
Do you use it?
Y- Yeah, but just for like to pay for stuff that I have the money for generally. Try to avoid credit card debt. Do you get in trouble with credit card debt? You get in trouble with credit card debt, Brett?
No, I don't have any credit. I don't have no credit.
You're living you're just like Fannie Willis, that the prosecutor from Georgia who's pays for everything in cash. You know, just like her daddy taught her.
No,
And there's nothing.
I do Uber Eats. I drive when I'm
Well, don't
between.
you need a credit card to get to you need a credit card to get on Uber Eats don't you?
Or they give you one. I have
Oh,
a.
there you go.
They put the money on that. It's all good, but definitely not what I was expecting me doing in my 50s.
What were you expecting you'd be doing?
Banging whores and living in.
Well, you can still do that. You can still bang whores. They're out there. Some of them maybe even for less than $75.
Well, no, no.
I don't know.
I'm a very.
You've got your standards. You got your standards. I know. And of course you should.
Of course, as we all should. We
You gotta
all
have
should have
standards in this life.
standards in life, right?
I wouldn't want to be a member of any club that would have me as a member.
Wow.
They would let me in.
There's
As Groucho Marx said that.
a huge like. There's a weird territorial thing happening with the cats around here
Oh man.
because I've got to figure out a situation because I have feral cats, right?
Man, what do you do about that? Because my girlfriend has like a half feral cat living in her. I never sleep there because I'm allergic to cats, and like the cat will be like pee on the
But
bed
listen,
and stuff. It's like all territorial.
they're outside. We're in Oregon, but I gotta
Oregon.
figure it out because we have rain for like the next 6 days in a row.
Oh man, here I am complaining about California. We had like 1 day of rain.
oh no, no, no. We got like I checked the weather report. It's like slammed, like the
Oh
whole
man.
from AM to PM rain.
Well, I'll check in on you to make sure you don't float away. I gotta check
No,
in on my sister too.
yeah, yeah, you should because we're about to get a lot of drop.
You know what's crazy? We both have like pretty colorful backgrounds behind us. Like
You know, I did that on purpose to match yours.
nice. I can see it now. And actually, like yours the is so colorful, all your different paintings, that it almost kind of looks like water like has flowed across the whole background. Like it's watercolors that have a little bit of smearing of the colors.
I
Your
know.
whole background there.
I should have got the bulletin board. I should have got the bulletin board a little bit more. I cheated myself. I should have got that would have been the better.
Oh, bulletin board.
That would have been the better shot.
It's bulletin board. Isn't there another word for that thing? Dartboard. Looks like a
Terrible.
dartboard.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know what? This thing, it looks like a stacks of cigarettes, right? But beneath it, it
Oh,
looks like a whole bunch of packs of cools stacked up on each other, like the side of the package.
yeah, yeah. There's a lot. I got a lot. Hey, man, I'm a great set deck.
Set deck.
I get in set deck, no,
I
but
love
no,
you have great authenticity and texture to your set.
well, it's real, baby. We want real. We
You want real.
because people, I think, want authenticity. That is what it comes down to. If you can get authenticity, if you're real, not cover because the camera sees that, man.
But people also want you to tell them a great story. People want
I
you to
don't, I
lie to
don't think they.
people want you to lie to them.
I don't think you really care.
No,
I
it's funny because you're absolutely right. People totally want authenticity, but I also think it's true that people are captivated by sometimes lie people who tell them what they want to hear also. There's
you
there's
can't
an
cater.
exception to every rule,
You
even
can't
this
cater.
one.
Come on, you can't cater to. You know that you're authentic,
Yeah,
right?
I mean I try to be authentic, but
Why would you say that catering would be good then?
well, catering to
Catering
someone
to
is
the
good.
masses? Do they
I don't think that's the
measure
opposite.
water
I'm not pro catering.
to the
I'm
masses?
not pro
You,
catering to other
you
people's
saw it.
needs.
You guys all saw it. You saw it. He saw it. He said it.
I'm a
Then
caterer.
you,
Okay.
then you would cater to the masses.
Well, it's such a general question you're asking.
No, you
I,
said it first.
I think if I could reach a larger audience, then I might actually enjoy being an entertainer. Like basically, I'm not a I have no audience, so I don't even know what they want to hear. Um, so I don't even know what selling out would look like for me. But in general, I like authenticity in others, so why wouldn't I bring that? But you can also create a character. You can create an act that's your act, and then that can help you tell your stories and entertain, like with a different,
Like a Pee Wee
with putting a
Herman
spin on it, you know?
scenario. Yeah, Pee Wee Herman scenario where you.
It's like that movie, The Mask. People told me I'd make a great Pee Wee Herman. I actually bought the Pee Wee Herman suit one time, but I felt like it didn't quite fit, so I sent it back. But I'm like, I should have kept it.
Maybe. What are we gonna do with you, Michael Stone?
I know you are, but what am I?
No, I know. When I saw Pee Wee Herman for the first time, that movie.
You saw him live?
No, I just
Pee Wee's Big Adventure? Large Marge? Tell him Large
I saw
Marge
that.
sent
I
you.
was like primed. I mean, I was primed for that. It was like it was almost like a setup because like that was that like checked so many boxes of me in that time. You know, you relate, like you feel, it was everything. It was a really great film. Pee Wee Herman, RFP.
Yeah, that was a great film.
Yeah,
I wish
just
I could have known you then.
then
I wish we could have watched Pee Wee's Big Adventure together. You could have been like my big brother. We were watching movies Mom said we couldn't watch.
Wait,
Breaking the rules.
what's your favorite dish to make? What are you eating these days? What are you eating?
Oh my God. What have I been making? I feel like I've been cooking. I feel like I generally cook all my meals, but then I don't know. Oh, I made something that was kind of like a goulash.
Really?
My dad gave me a recipe. It's like chicken. It's like onions and garlic and paprika and saute up the chicken and then cook it for a long time. I made that the other day. That was really good. What am I making often? What's like my most go-to meal? I get like salad and then meat. Sometimes I got pastrami. I made pastrami sandwiches. I
Oh,
had eggs.
oh
I
shit.
make eggs for breakfast pretty often.
Yeah,
Um, I do a good fried egg and I do a good scrambled eggs. And I've gotten a lot of people have said good things about my breakfast skills over the years. Um,
have you been watching? Have you been watching any stand up lately?
you know what I want to watch right now? I heard that someone took George Carlin's all of his material and
No,
they
the
fed it
AI
in.
thing. Yeah,
And have you seen it?
yeah, yeah.
I heard it was pretty good. I haven't seen it.
It's a weird thing. Like Kelly, I think Kelly is gonna it had something about suing them for a bit. But yeah, I listened to it when it came out, and
Eh,
like seconds of when it came out,
yeah,
and
I think it would.
it was
Oh,
very
go ahead.
odd. It's odd. It was kind of a. I knew that Kelly wasn't gonna like it very much.
Wait, who's Kelly?
That's his daughter.
Oh, okay. Oh, Kelly Carlin?
Mhm.
Interesting. Yeah, that's interesting, right? Like we've taken all your dad's material and we've like this is what we think he would say. I can imagine you might have something to say about that.
Usually,
That's gonna totally become a weird thing now. Is like all like basically fake, like AI generated, like everything. But to answer your question, I haven't seen much stand up lately. I feel like I
What'd you think?
got
What'd you think about that Carlin thing? What'd you think about it?
no, I didn't even see it yet. Someone just recommended it to me like last week, and I was like, oh, I want to watch it, but I haven't got around to it yet.
It's a trip. It's a
I
trip.
saw I think the last thing I saw was like Chappelle's thing on Netflix, but when was that? Not the most even recent one. It was like
Did you watch
six
the
months ago
Shane
or something,
Gillis SNL?
where he got in trouble for I don't know the trans community was like upset with him or something. I don't know. I
You
like
watch
Chappelle.
the Shane Gillis SNL?
I don't think so.
Shane Gillis. You know who that is?
Oh, I'm not sure. I know. I'm not sure who it is. It's ringing a bell.
He's a comic. He's kind of glowing up right now.
What's his name? Shaney?
Shane Gillis.
I feel probably ignorant for not knowing this, but
Well, you're a busy guy. You can't like you got lots of things going
I
on.
got a lot on my mind. It's all Ukraine all the time in here right now. I'm
So
just basically like trying
let's
to
get
figure
back
out how I can save Ukraine.
let's get back to the Ukraine because you got the Oculus
Man,
shirt.
I think I gotta say goodnight. I like my back is hurting from sitting up here. I gotta
on.
go get some food.
How long would you guess that we did?
3 hours. I think it's 3 hours plus. No, maybe three and a
3 hours?
half.
I don't
Four.
know. We'll figure it out. So
Because I was recording the audio just as an experiment, and it's saying 3:03 and I didn't even start at the beginning. I think like 15 minutes in, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna record the audio just so we have like a backup. So I have a
Uh,
backup of the audio if we need it.
oh,
Um,
thanks for being on the show. I
is this
hope.
the? You think this is the record for the longest one that you've done?
Um, actually,
No.
Arnie might be 4 hours.
Okay. Well, maybe next time. I'm tapped out.
Yeah, I know we went long. I appreciate it. Yeah, this has been good social. It's good to see you, man. And
Yeah, it's been good. It's been good catching up.
yeah, I know you've been running around a lot, and we kind of want to do this for a little bit, but we'll try to do something live at some point, or try to. I
Yeah,
like
we'll figure that out.
I
That'll
like
be
the
interesting.
experimental thing. I like the experimental aspect, like try to do something weird and different.
Yeah. Wait,
But
you haven't been recording this, have you?
I have
What?
what? Oh shit! Don't
Oh
do.
shit! Damn.
Did you
You gotta
sign?
delete. You
Did
gotta
you
delete
sign?
everything. You got
Did you
delete
sign
this whole
the
thing. Delete
agreement?
this whole thing. I didn't say anything. I didn't say
You,
anything.
you signed the agreement, right?
I love Putin. I'm pro Putin.
Don't say pro Trump. Because
I
you
can't
might
go that
be
far.
better off to say I'm pro Putin than pro Trump right now.
I'm proposing. I'm proposing that we.
God, dude, I hope
Pro-
if he gets in office, dude,
I hope he eats it. No, we can't have another Trump. It'd
there's
be
no way.
it'd be
How
the
is that
beginning of the end.
possible?
Oh, by the way, there's a movie coming out called Civil War. Have you heard about this?
Yeah, I saw a bit of that. Yeah.
It's gonna be good. That's the movie I'm looking forward to the most. I'm not looking forward to the Civil War, but the idea that people are like gaming out how it could happen, is terrifying to me, and I think it's gonna be a good movie. But another good movie I saw on Netflix, food for thought movie. It's called Leave the World Behind. Have you seen that one?
Was that with Julia Roberts and
Yes. Is it Julia Roberts? Yes, it is. And they're in New York and they leave and then like stay
I've
at
been all
Airbnb.
I've been my brains in podcasts. I can't. It really. I mean, I love cinema like so much, but like the real world right now is
It's
so fucking crazier than anything somebody
Yeah,
could.
that's true. Well, that's why I like movies that are kind of talking about real, like the weird shit that's really going on or
Yeah, but
could be
I'm
going
like
on.
I'm in a different like my brain space is in a whole different thing. Like I love the aspect that those exist, but like my brain is like in like tech text like finger. I need to see it in front of my face, even though I'm podcast like baloney on my brain. But I mean, I need to be like the real world. What's happening right now in the world right now is so insane. It supersedes the actual product that most people are putting out. Like that's why podcasts are so great because I like them. It's immediate. It's like right now, and because there's no room for anything else for me right now. It looks like Godzilla minus one on the big
Here it is.
screen. Trust me, on mushrooms, that was like that was like Star Wars for the first time. It was like,
Okay.
but you're gonna miss it on a small screen. Anyways, if you
Shoot.
ever, yeah, next time.
Well, in my mind, the screen will be giant.
Yes, the screen. What do you think of the
I'll just put the
that,
screen really
here?
close to my face.
Yeah,
I'll watch it.
that
I'm gonna
that
buy an Apple Vision Pro goggles so that
yeah,
so I can have the experience
Godzilla,
of watching
Godzilla.
Godzilla minus
Well,
one
yeah.
on the
You
big
act like
screen
you
in
never
my.
heard of this movie before.
No, I knew that there was a new Godzilla movie, but I didn't know the
That's
title.
why nobody saw it. God damn it. It's amazing.
It got away. It's the one that got away.
You think you're gonna do the Sphere in Las Vegas? You're gonna go see that?
God, I'd love to. My sister just went. Actually, I gotta call my sister, ask her how it was. My sister and her husband, they flew from Austin, and they saw U2 there at the Sphere. And
Yeah.
I haven't talked to her since then. I gotta ask her how it was.
Did she drop mushrooms or LSD or anything?
I hope so, but
Only
I
way.
doubt it.
You know the
But maybe
fish is gonna play there.
that would be the show to see. That would be the show to see at the Sphere. Would be the fish show at the Sphere.
All right. All right, I'll let you go. We went long.
All right, we sure did. But you know what? This is a great talk, and I'm
I
glad I got to see
know.
you.
I wish we would have went live though too. We'll do it again.
Maybe it's for the best that it didn't. Maybe we need some editing here.
No,
Everything is gold. Everything is gold.
yeah, send me any clips or anything like that. All right. Well,
All
thanks.
right, man.
Get some rest, eat some food. I'll talk to you. Thank
You
you
do the same.
for
Get
hanging
some.
out.
I want to hear about your go-to meal next time.
My go-to meal. Um, my go-to meal would be. Can I end it? Oh God, my go-to meal for the end of the life or what?
No, yeah, your last meal. For some reason, I'm picturing sardines and cigarettes. Take
My
some
last
sardines and
meal
cigarettes, roll them up.
would be nice. Medium rare porterhouse steak.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with that.
Yeah,
Ribeye.
yeah,
Yum, 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 yum.
thick meat like au jus, squirting
Mm,
when you cut the
squirting all
fat
over.
down. Yeah, au jus, just like ah ah ah. There's some
You
gravy,
can't
some
go wrong with that.
biscuitsy gravies with a hard boiled
Mm.
egg on top of it. Maybe
Ooh,
a little egg on top of it, like
ooh,
an egg, like a half baked boiled egg.
egg foo young.
Egg.
What? I have a giant
Hey,
my
hey, hey, hey!
my cursor is a giant hand now for some reason. Do you see this?
You're correct.
Do you see a cursor that's a giant hand on the screen?
No,
Oh, that's so weird. It's like from my point of view, it's like as big as your head almost. I can put it on your head.
the cursor.
Yeah, and it's like a big hand. I don't know how I did this, but I'm gonna take a picture of it here with my phone so you can see what I mean. There's no way I can reproduce it.
Okay, take a picture. I'll put it on the edit. You can send
This could be our
the end of the screenshot.
yeah.
Okay, so those words with friends.
Or I can put the hand where I'll put the hand right on top of your like on your mouth. Where do you want it? You want it on your chin?
Where? What? Huh?
The hand.
You need a pose?
No, no, you don't move. Actually, you go like this with your hand. Other hand, sorry. You do your left hand. Okay, okay, but put it lower. Put it lower. Okay, then move it in a little bit this way. Okay, but move it back because it's too big now. Okay, that's closer. Can you get it back even farther? Lean back a little far. Okay, but now lower. Okay, actually stay right there. Okay, that's good. But okay, now you need to be farther away. Hold on, this is gonna be great. I'll take a picture. We almost got it. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Okay, yeah, hold that pose. Keep lighting that cigarette. The hand moved. Don't let it go out. Okay, got it. I got it. I got it. I got it. That's our picture right there. You'll see. You'll see what I mean. I'll send it to you right now.
I trust you. So that was a good show.
Thank you for your service
Thank you for your
to
service.
the world of
No,
entertainment.
but I want to get more talk about the Ukraine Russia stuff because it's like where
Hey,
we're
I
gonna
could talk
go.
about it all day. I could talk about it all day.
I mean, where we're gonna go from here? Like, what's tomorrow? Because tomorrow is another day. Like, we're like, what the fuck? The Red Sea, the China island thing.
Slava Ukraini.
What the fuck?
It's
I mean,
glory to Ukraine.
glory to
Glory to the
Ukraine.
heroes.
So, should we not stop funding them?
We should definitely not stop funding them. We got to fund the shit out of Ukraine. That if you take anything away from this talk, that should be it. Fund Ukraine. Arm Ukraine now. Hashtag.
What? Why would most Americans want that? Why do you think they should care?
It's the best possible investment of our military budget. We spend every year we spend $750 billion on the military. What good is it doing? It's just sitting there, right? Like, oh, it's defending us. Well, these people they need it now. So let's take a little bit of that budget, give the weapons, just give them to the people that actually have real live targets to shoot at instead of just our guys doing target practice on the base. Just give them the bullets and the artillery shells and the Taurus missiles and the HIMARS and the 777 howitzers and let them defend themselves. That's all I'm saying. Peace through superior firepower.
Yeah, I hope there's some resolution soon. This can't be like another 20-year war.
I know. I hope not.
All right.
No, we're gonna make it.
We're
We're
gonna
gonna
make
make it.
the aliens are coming. It's fine. The aliens are gonna be here fine.
We're gonna usher in a new era of peace.
Yeah. And the aliens are coming.
And the aliens are coming. Well, I'll see you on the ship. See you back at the ship.
You're on the ship. Okay, thank you, Michael Stone.
Thank
Uh
you, Brett Woods.
that was the we'll see if we get, because we've kind of milked it for this last few minutes because we want to see how long we go. I think it'd be the longest one. Let's see how we're hold on. We keep going by. Let's see how long. Do you see how long it's been going in your end?
Something like at least 3:15, but I think it's longer.
Okay,
Well, anyway, I don't care about the record.
come on,
I don't
you
care.
do, you do. Come
It's all
on.
about connecting. Next
So,
time I'll bring more food with me.
peace to Palestine.
Peace to Palestine, peace in the Middle East, peace in the world. But we might have to fight. If you want peace, prepare for war.
What are you saying? That's kind of dour.
Well, it's something that you can say.
So are you?
Dower, that's a great word. Dowry. You took away. You didn't give me my dowry. What am I talking about? All right, Brett. Love you, man.
I want to milk it for the last minutes because
I'm shutting it down. I'm gonna send you your picture with the hand. You're gonna love it. You look like this.
No, I will not post that.
No. Don't worry. Don't worry. It's good.
Hitler thing at all.
All right. See you, man.
All right. So, yeah, I'm hoping it's the last. Like I might be. Oh God, it's over. All right. See you.